Hello, and welcome to day 2 of the World Team Championships, War Machine and Hordes in lovely Blankenberge, Belgium. I am Josh, your host today, with Muse on Minis, and I have with me my co-hosts.
Hey, I'm Klaas.
And I'm Frank.
You might know me from a little podcast that is called Chasing the Dragon Father. I mean, this plug is so shameless. So shameless, it's not even worth mentioning the fact that it's shameless.
The cast today, of course, brought to you from Page 5 DEE, Enter the Crucible, and Muse on Minis. So we're getting ready to stream round 4, and we have 8 remaining 3-0 teams. So we can run through those very quick. We have 2 English teams.
Yep.
Out of 3. We have 2 French teams. Both French teams are at 3-0.
Yeah, let's go. What the France?
Quite a surprise.
What the France?
Yeah. We have one of the Swedish teams, Svealand.
Svealand, yeah.
Switzerland, Chocolate.
Yep.
One of the Norwegian teams.
Norway, Moonen.
And what's the one I'm forgetting?
Germany, Loreley.
Of course.
We have
the one
three.
we're about to stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Of
yay
course,
for the
yes.
Germans.
Frank might be a bit of a German fanboy. So
Yeah. I'll apologize in advance for any biased opinion.
Yeah, so today we have, or this morning, our first round here is going to be German Loreley versus France 2. So
France Falbala.
Falbala. So yesterday, you guys watched France Asterix, managed to eke out a tight win over Canada Goose, and now we're going to watch to see what the other French team can do versus the German juggernaut, so to speak. So we can run through maybe table by table what the pairings are and kind of discuss that as the players start to set up. So on table 1, we have Benjamin with Assyria versus Nicolas with Axis.
Yes.
And I assume the Axis list, Destruction Initiative. 3 Galvanizers, not really spam. We've seen a few Galvanizer kind of spam type lists with Axis.
But he has the dreaded taps.
Right.
And double tap in the list.
Double Transfinite Emergence Projector Battle Engine.
Yeah.
So that's table 1. We can switch over to table 2.
Which is Dominic
with Rasheth.
with Rasheth versus Florian with
Haley 2.
Haley 2, yeah.
And Rasheth is in Winds of Death, so not the Imperial War Host, which is, I think, how I more often tend, at least in the States. I mean, not that there's a ton of Scorn running around, but I feel like...
Let's be fair. If anybody knows how to play Scorn at this time, I'm sorry, Martin Hornacek, but that would be Dominic de Cassan. I think we can safely say he's one of the strongest Scorn players.
So
And I'm just adding one of the... Just because.
Just because. When really what you mean is the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I expect great things out of this match.
So it should be interesting. Haley 2, nerfed, but still quite strong.
Yeah.
So that should be a good matchup. Best Scorn player in the world versus Haley 2.
Hey, we didn't say that.
One of the best.
Let's wait 2 more rounds and then declare.
And then declare him. All right. On table 3, we have Sasha, the Krix mirror.
Yeah, Dr. Sasha Meisel.
With Coven, this is Ghost Fleet Coven.
Ghost
Fleet
not
Coven.
Dark Host, which is the more popular Coven build.
Yeah,
Yes.
he plays Scorchid 3 in Dark Host, so...
And this this Ghost Fleet list is in and of itself unusual, beyond just the fact that Coven is leading it as opposed to the Negra. It is... No. We were looking at the French one. My apologies. This one's actually a pretty normal, pretty standard list.
It's the Coven Ghost Fleet is a thing in Germany.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Sasha was very long time debating whether he should play Ghost Fleet because he thinks it's boring and he didn't want to, and all that. But Sasha being Sasha, he just
He
I'll
succumbed
brand.
to peer pressure of his team captain, and
yes. Then he decided to just take a list that was just a little bit off key enough. I mean, not too much on the beaten path, and still just powerhousey where he wants. In this case, though, I'm not entirely sure whether he's advantaged. Um, well, because he's got. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
He's got the Negra across from him, and
He
Yeah.
does,
the
yeah.
Negra is still the Negra.
Yeah, I know. Talking with a few other players, Keith, Pat Dunford, some of the others, sort of the trump card in some of these Ghost Fleet matchups. Maybe Lich 1, maybe Denegra 2. Neither player have that. We'll have to see how the Coven plays into. Denny 1 Ghost Fleet is the French list from Vincent, and this is the Ghost Fleet list that's a little abnormal. There is no Wraith engine in this list. There's a Max Blackbanes, which we did see yesterday, but I think that's non-traditional. Most people take Min, and then Nightmare is in this list in the battle group.
Yeah, this is a big question.
Yeah. All right. Then we have on table 4. If we want to switch to table 4. I'll let you guys pronounce the
that's Bernhard.
Bernhard. Yeah. So Bernhard with Unatu.
Yep.
And Victor from the French team with
Dreamer.
Dreamer. So we saw Dreamer yesterday in round 3. That was our first look at Grimken in the tournament. We'll take a look at it again. Victor's choices were Child and Dreamer. This Dreamer list is 4 Cage Rangers, 2 Skin and Bones. So this list is very similar to basically, I think it may be the same.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Cariana Rose was in the list we looked or watched yesterday, but by and large, 6 Heavies, a Crabbit, Gremlin Swarms, Death Knell, Dark Menagerie, Dreamer. So we'll have
I
to
think
see.
at this point in the release cycle, there's just not that much more available to make these lists too much different from one another.
That could be. So we'll have to see how that goes. We've got Una into it. I think Una is a less good. So yesterday we saw Abby 2, and that's, I think, basically one of the best matchups you can hope to get into the sort of Grimkin brick from talking to a few Grimkin players here at the tournament. So Abby 2 very good into that matchup. Una 2 to me seems like a slightly weaker version of that, so it might be a pretty decent matchup. The Griffins can hit pretty hard. They're fairly immune to Dreamer's knockdown, I think. And her Trump Arcana, All Fall Down, is the weakest of the Trump Arcanas. So yeah. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. We can go to table 5, where we have Robin with Haley 3. Our first look at Haley 3 this weekend. And let's just take a look at
Into Osram
yes, into Osram
with double battle engines.
double battle engines. And I am the only person in the world that hates the battle engine, supposedly. So,
Yeah.
which is fine. I'm used to being told I'm wrong. This is an interesting Ostrom list. Obviously, Hammer Strike, 5 blasters, no gunners.
Double
seems
forge guard.
Double max forge guard. I think that's right. I like that. I like the double max forge guard with him. And then 2 siege crawlers. So we'll see how.
It might be possible that he does have gunners and no blasters. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
maybe
think
the-
one of the
maybe the
French guys
list
came
is-
up to me and says my list is
the
wrong.
list is wrong.
But
Okay.
there's 320 War Machine
Right.
players alone in the WTC, so I have no idea if it was him.
All
but
right.
it
So
could be.
we'll figure it out when we look at it on the table.
About this mercenary list, it's very popular in anything French speaking. So also in the French part of Belgium, it's a very popular list, and it is seen as the mercenary build.
Okay.
So because of the siege crawlers, they're actually very tough to remove, and they play surprisingly well into cricks, for example.
Sure.
Yeah. Does this list have something to see through the cloud walls? Of
Yes,
Haley?
the siege. I think the siege crawlers
It does
have.
not.
No,
It
they have.
only removes stealth.
Yeah, oh, it only removes stealth. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay.
they
Yeah.
might just be
No,
fucked. I
you
have
cannot
no
see
idea.
through the cloud wall.
And he doesn't have a big convenient target for the crit stagger. If there's a Colossal on the other side, he might go fishing for the crit staggers.
Right.
But there's no big convenient target. The
Yeah.
biggest jack Robin has on his side is our Ironclad.
Yes.
And I mean, sure, Thorn could become an issue, but you don't want to crit stagger Thorn, you want to remove him.
Yeah, the cloud wall with the Stormblade infantry behind it is going to be difficult for Osram to contend with. We'll have to see. I don't think this is a good matchup for the Osram player, just looking at the lists.
I'll take
but
that. That's good.
The only thing I can comment on in this case is that on one side of the table you have Robin, whose trophy closet is probably bigger than the table.
Yeah.
And who's been here before.
Yeah.
With
on the other hand, you have, I don't want to diss Sylvain,
Sylvain.
Sylvain. Or
but,
Sylvain. No.
but I'm not sure. I think this is in general the thing that the French will feel the pressure more, I would say, because, well, contrarily to the Germans, they haven't been here yet.
However, this may be the coming out party for the French.
Very
But,
much so. Very much so. I'm not saying that the Germans are going to win, but
They
I
certainly
think
are
they'll be a
favored.
little bit more.
well, that's my
Cool.
job, saying the Germans will win.
Yeah, sure. I mean, to be fair, once again, I mean, I'm rooting for the Germans as well. I mean, these guys are more in my meta than some of the Belgian players that we have here at the tournament. I mean, we play against each other, a few times a year. So yeah,
And as you said, Robin has been here before, and I just realized I think that's at least the third faction with which he's been here at this point. He played Legion, he played Circle, he plays Signar now, and yeah.
Okay. Do we have any unpacking, anything going on? All right, we're going to switch over to table one. We can talk about this matchup a little bit as they unpack. This is Syria on the German side versus Axis on the Convergence player's side. Or, sorry, on the French player's side. This feels somewhat rough for the Assyria. So this is actually closer to what I am familiar with the Assyria Shadows of the Retribution lists looking like. We've seen a couple of them on the weekend so far, and the lists have been Mage Hunter Strike Force, Mage Hunter Assassins. This list has that, but it also has Infiltrators and Spears of Syra. So we'll have to see if that makes much of a difference in terms of how it plays. I happen to like this build of Shadows of Retribution Assyria better than the ones that we've seen. I think there's a little more variation to it.
Yeah.
The Axis list that we're looking at: Destruction Initiative, Conservator, Corollary, Galvanizer, 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 Inverter, Inverter. So a little bit of light spam and not really spam for. Well, Corollary doesn't even count, so 3.
Well, it depends if you count 3 of the same as spam or not.
Right.
There's people in the world who do,
and there's people who don't.
there's people in the
Yeah.
world who are right.
Yeah. So, battle group, some servitors, and the 2 battle engines. So not a big army.
Nope.
But the Assyria list is not a big army either.
But I think I play Signar, and I played a few times against Mage Hunter Strike Force, and ever since Mark III came around and the Gun Mages lost True Sight, I have a real hard time getting rid of stealth models,
Yeah.
which those tabs don't. So
Right. Yeah. I
he
think
has to
he's
try and
I think he may have an uphill battle. Benjamin may have an uphill battle.
yeah.
Trying to preserve his infantry long enough to make an impact on the battle group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those viewers among us who wonder why Benjamin changed his last name. He married about a month and a half ago.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to Benjamin.
I know now of at least 3 War Machine players that changed their last name after getting married. For a Belgian, it's like the weirdest thing to do.
It just
Like who the hell changes their last name? Even women
Yeah.
generally don't change their last name anymore. But apparently in
Germany.
Germany, in Sweden, and in England, which are the 3 guys I know, well, it's still very normal to change your last name. I don't know. I like Futsi, but apparently he doesn't.
You like say that again?
Futsi, his old
Oh, his old last name.
Old
Okay.
last name.
Okay.
He was the one jumping on the table last year in the finals, because the table was so big.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
Wasn't he
playing
like
Sigma back then.
Wasn't he like the only one in the finals last year who won?
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah, I think he was rock solid last year.
All right. Well, let's flip over to table 2. We can talk about that matchup a little bit. This is the Rasheth versus Haley 2. So the Haley
Yeah.
2 list is pretty standard. The colossal build of Haley 2 with Stormwall.
Isn't that the Electrobots?
What's that?
Electrobots. Oh no.
Electrobots. Yeah.
No, it actually isn't. No. It
Okay.
doesn't have that many Electro on his bots.
There
Yeah.
is a Stormclad in addition to the Stormwall. Not
No battle engine.
right. No battle engine. So I guess I was wrong. This is not a traditional build. There's some variants here.
Yeah.
She has a battle group that is the Stormwall, Stormclad. She has a charger in her battle group and Thorn. Strange Ways pick up Strange Ways, Jake's, and Journeyman for free. The Journeyman has a charger, and Jake's has a Hammersmith, which is a pretty non-typical choice as well.
Very underrated though. Hammersmiths are really cool. I think for their point cost, then I think they have like a crit smite or a chain attack smite, something. They
Chain
kick
attack.
ass.
Yeah,
They
chain
just
attack.
kick
They
ass. If
chain
you
attack
need
slam, and they walk up behind what they
follow
slammed.
up, yeah.
Follow
if,
up.
if you want to get something out of a zone, the Hammersmith is where it's at.
And he has beatback on his hammers
See,
first.
that's also if you
Yeah.
want to get something out of your zone.
And
go
we,
to
we definitely saw Hammersmith used quite well with Cray yesterday to that exact end. So we'll have to see how that works. That I think, at least in the States and in a couple of the Haley 2 lists we've seen, the Centurion tends to be a more popular piece, obviously more expensive.
Yeah.
But
5 points more expensive.
obviously there's a difference in design there. The Centurion's job is to not give up a zone, and the Hammersmith's job is to take a zone, right?
Yeah.
And
So-
on the
About the deployment here, it's very obvious that Dominic is going to want to score his own zone. I mean his own zone. I mean the rectangular zone on his side.
Yeah.
And the same can be said for French player he's playing against whom?
Florian.
Florian. Sorry, Florian. I have no idea who you are. But I'm not sure if Florian is. Either of them are actually not really putting a lot of pressure on their own flags, because I can't see. Is there a solo near the flag for the to score the flag for the?
There's
in
Jake's
Sigma?
back here.
Oh, this is Jake's back
she's
there.
piloting the
So she could
Hammersmith?
like
Yeah,
That's
Jake's
the
like
Jake's.
run next
Here's
round,
the
right?
Hammersmith.
She could. I don't know that he'll want to bring her up to the flag, particularly with it looks
With
like
all
two
that jazz
sea
on the other
Genometrics,
side, yeah.
standing
Two
across the way.
turtles on the other side.
Yeah.
Then I also have a hard time discerning whether there's a solo on Dominic's side.
It doesn't appear to be.
No.
It looks like just infantry. We can look at Dominic's list very quickly.
Yeah,
and
it's infantry.
see what he has. Dominic has 4 solos in this list. He has a Venator Dakar, a Mort at the Edge Wheelbreaker, Extoller, 2 Extoller Soul Words.
The car could be.
Yeah, so the Dakar could be up there. It's very possible.
No, I think
But I think
the Venator
he's
car should be
like right
this,
there.
yeah, this guy.
Yeah, I think that's where the Dakar is. Which does not put him out of the realm of possibility of running to
But
that flag
the
eventually.
Key pieces in this list are the 2 Dub Turtles.
Yeah.
The
Sea
2
Genometrax.
Sea Genometrax, so we can
Yeah.
see the 2. Definitely this year, the start of Mark III, huge bases pretty much reviled. but we're seeing much more of a resurgence after the Battle Engine CID, and some Colossals have come back to play. So much more huge base models showing up in lists this year.
And I've seen him destroy whole armies with those two.
There's some solos within run range, but might be just out of run range.
Yeah, so there's solos within run range of the flags, like we sort of surmised, but
Ooh, the boo handler. It's as you so people at home, you think, how the fuck do they know this right now? Because we have somebody who just walks around the hall and tells us stuff. You don't see this, but I mean, that's how
But
we
he's very
roll.
good looking.
yeah.
He's also very good looking, I have to say. and I'm a bit knowledgeable about these things, or especially about being sexy. Also, this is a plug that is so shameless that it doesn't need mentioning.
So we just have some shots from the Charger here, a little bit of engagement. What do you guys think about this matchup?
Well,
I say Dominic wins.
yep. I say two because I think I played this matchup against him once or twice, and I know Dominic. He's been on quite a roll since German Nationals last November, which he won. So, yeah, Dominic all the way.
I think Dominic, apart from one or two local tournaments, has just won every tournament he's been in since the German Nationals last year.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
actually, that was Trolls, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
that was Trolls back then. Yep.
All right, well,
I mean,
let's
they only got Trolls. The Trolls, they were shit back then. I mean, they just got slightly better. I don't know even.
let's
That
yeah,
is
let's
true.
let's examine
is
it
true.
from a matchup standpoint.
It is Haley 2 on the most live scenario.
Yeah. So Haley 2 in a very live scenario. There are quite a few guns on the opposite side. Haley 2 certainly not Haley 1 in terms of fear of guns, but with a low model count, hunting Haley is a viable strategy.
He also Haley. She doesn't have a lot of things to put in that middle zone.
She doesn't. Not
Where-
to score. To
I mean, to score. I
it's-
mean,
it's
she's-
her. It's
she
her.
has her-
It's only her.
So if he wants to score that zone, and he's got to put stuff in there to contest it.
He
because,
does. I mean, I think the storm wall will probably bridge the gap between
Yeah.
his rectangular zone. The question is whether or not Haley, the Haley player, can end up feeling safe enough to put one of her high-value solos on that flag to kind of help. If she can score her rectangular zone and her flag while contesting, we'll have to see. If any Warcaster can do that, it'll be Haley. We'll go ahead and go to 3, where we have the Crix mirror match that everybody craves. Ghost Fleet on Ghost Fleet.
Yeah. It's Dr. Kellerman himself, Sasha Meisel.
Obviously, player-wise, we know Sasha. We don't really know the French Vincent. But in terms of pure matchup list build, we have Denegro 1 on one side with a Nightmare, but without a Wraith Engine, and on the other side we have Coven with the bog standard Ghost Fleet. Do you guys think that there is a advantage to either side solely on list composition?
I think list-wise, I'm gonna go with Victor. Sorry, Sasha.
Yeah,
Vincent.
Sorry, Vincent.
Yeah,
Vincent.
Oh man, sorry, Vincent. He's also the only undefeated French player so far,
he is. He's 3-0. He has.
and his other list is probably the list that shows maybe his. I want to say his crazy genius, because it's the Scar list with 9 stalkers. And
Yes.
I don't know if he is the French player that designed this list, but for sure, I don't know if they have the same list on the other French team. But it's a thing. It's definitely a thing, and he's probably one of the guys that started it, let's say, or that was part of
Yeah,
making it a thing.
yeah.
I think in this specific matchup, the Coven has one big advantage, which is they have stealth and they have the fee to deliver the army, which means that they can shoot better. I mean, well, not. I want to say they can shoot better. Of course, they don't have Haley's, Denegra's feet turn to make all the shooting going, but they can stay back a little bit better, stay out of walk and shoot range.
How much does
because of the
the
stealth.
Coven feed affect the Negra? Because he just turns off the lights for a round.
Yeah. So the shooting is normally the shooting. In the first few turns, the shooting will be in Sasha's advantage, and he can, let's say, postpone the Negra's feet turn. I mean, he can push the Negra's feet turn towards the back of the game. If that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. But that's where the chances. I mean, he needs to get up. He needs to get up quickly so that when the Negra eventually feeds, she won't have that much of an army left to just destroy his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. The Coven player can sort of dictate when and where and how all the models engage. Whether or not that's good enough to overcome this raw strength of the Negra or not
That is the big
questionable.
question.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another issue or another thing. I think Sasha has to close this game relatively quickly. I think in the very long run, having a crippling grasp on a table beats having occultation on a table, or having stalkers that are just a little bit faster.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree completely. All right. Well, let's go ahead and check in on 4. We'll talk about that matchup a little bit. We did already slightly, but this is Una 2 into
The Dreamer.
So, Dreamer list, I think I ran down. It looks exactly the same as yesterday's Dreamer list. 4 Cage Rangers, 2 Skin and Moans, 1 Crabbit, 4 Gremlin Storms, Lady Cariana Rose, and a Death Knell. So very small list. I think yesterday there may have been some, like a unit of some sort.
Yeah.
There's no unit here, which means also for, this is Victor. For Victor, he has nothing other than the Dreamer to score that central zone. But of course, the central zone is the hardest to actually score in this scenario. So,
This scenario is not in Victor's favor.
no, I agree.
mean,
His
this
army
is
is tight
not-
and small.
yeah,
And
this-
this is a very spread out scenario.
And for the for some of the
Oh.
Arcana to work, he has to keep it a tight break.
By the way,
I mean, he has 4 Gremlin Swarms, so
Bernard already has a solo on the flag,
Yep.
yes, yeah.
and so
it's-
he's gonna put pressure on that really, really quickly.
Like
He's probably scoring. I don't know. This is Bernard's turn too, right? So unless
It looks like
Victor
it's probably
comes
top
right
of
into
2.
his grill, he is gonna score 2 points at the end of Victor's turn already. I mean, he's
Yep.
set up to score 2 points.
Well, how many?
I have
so-
no idea about Grimkin. I don't know anything. But if I look at the scenario,
So
it's-
he has the
he's
Grimkin army
dictating.
has 4
cheers, mate.
4 Gremlin Swarms, which are key to helping them play on scenario. So the real question is for Una, how much magic attacks does she have? The ability to take care of Gremlin Swarms. Pureblood Warp Wolf does not provide magic, right? Just does it make it blessed and magic, the Animus of the Pureblood?
No, I think it just makes
He's
blessed.
Just
coffee.
blessed, right?
Wraithbane is just
Yeah.
blessed.
Yeah. So only blessed for that. Obviously, the pureblood spray is magic, though. I believe. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Purble split. They're magical.
Right. Tharn Ravager Shaman almost certainly has magic attacks. Tharn Ravager White Mane, I do not know.
I think no. I
And
have no
that
idea.
Whitemane, I think, is actually standing at the flag at the top flag.
Okay, so that's the White Mane on the flag, and then he also has 3 Bloodweavers units, right? So there are also magic attacks.
Yeah.
So the Gremlin Swarm strategy is typically the strategy for the Grimkin player. They can send out, their 4 incorporeal high defense models to sort of contest zones, contest flags, and often make it very difficult for the opposing armies, typically limited number of magic attacks to sort of spread out and deal with them, allowing a tight brick to continue playing on scenario. But in this case, the Unit 2 list does seem to have the tools to deal with the Gremlin Swarms, and that, I agree, will make this scenario very tough on the Grimkin player. I do think that in terms of breaking the brick, the Una list is disadvantaged. I think you have the 1 feet turn charge of the Griffins that will help. But aside from that, I don't think, there's a Gorax for some primal here and there. She has Hand of Fate, of course, so that helps. But the Grimkin brick is very difficult to break through. So we'll have to see how the Grimkin player positions his army, how long those Gremlin Swarms stay on the table. I think that's going to be key to whether or not he's capable of breaking the Una player.
Yeah. I think if this works out in Bernard's way, it's gonna be scenario. I think
yes.
If it works out in Grimkin's player's way, it's gonna be either an assassination because he powers through, or he's gonna clock Bernard, or win on tiebreakers after 7 turns.
This table is a good chance for those of you who weren't with us yesterday. All 5 tables are themed this week, designed by the Belgian committee. Very lovely tables.
They were designed by Thomas
Minnis. Yeah. And so some of the terrain here looks like other things is non-traditional, but these types of pieces here.
They're terraces, they're actually hills.
They are actually hills. And if you guys haven't played with it before, that is Burning Earth. Those are some of the alternate terrain types from, I don't remember if it's the rule book or the packet itself. So Burning Earth, if you end your activation, move through or end your activation in it, you pick up the fire continuous effect.
As far as I know, yeah.
Unless you have flight.
But if you're
the
knocked
birds
down
in
with
Una
flight,
sites actually have.
Yep. So an interesting bit of terrain. We played with it at the WITC about a month or so ago. I quite liked it. We also, on a different table, have Acid Bath, which is same thing but provides corrosion continuous effect. Then there's fog banks. Or cloud banks like this that are essentially just constant cloud effects on the table. So a little bit of interesting terrain for people to play on. I enjoy using these pieces, and I definitely recommend that people give them a try at home. So
Has the story of the terrain been told on the stream already?
I have told the story that it was designed by Thomas, but aside from that, no.
Okay, so this terrain was shipped in to us from China, and it arrived. Well, it was. It should have arrived like the first week of September or something, and then we got an email from the shipping company saying that the boat it was on was in a traffic jam. So I'll let that sink in.
The traffic jam
was in a traffic jam.
Traffic jam with a boat.
Like in the harbor of some kind? Or
I have no idea the boat was in a traffic jam. So the terrain arrived like at least 6 days later. And then they unloaded it and they put it on the docks. And everything was going great. But then, of course, it has to clear customs. And that's where Franz Kafka stepped in. So it was gonna go through. It was gonna be through customs. It sat there on the dock for a while. And then it was gonna be through customs last Friday. So the Friday before, not the 22nd, sort of the day before yesterday, but the Friday before that. So like 9 days ago. So we drove there to go and pick it up, because we could also have like a shipping company deliver it. But we wanted to win some time, so we went over there to pick it up. One of us got stuck in traffic and never made it there, and the other car did get there because we had to be there at 3:30 p.m. at the latest. So one car got there at 3:15 p.m. to go in and have the shipping company tell us that it hadn't cleared customs. Contrarily to what they said at noon, and also to get his car smashed by a stray truck driver. So his car got totaled just by being parked on a parking lot. It got totaled by a stray truck driver, So the insurance thing is still running on that one. And yeah, so we had no mats, and we all cleared our whole weekend because if you can see the terrain, it's been cut out, but they're all very irregular shapes. So we cut them out with scissors. Yes, no, it's that's the way we ordered them. If we would have had them cut out by the printing company, it would not only have cost double, it would also have cost double the time. So it would never have been on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we cut them out with scissors, which is fine. It's
If you have
it's
enough time.
if you
And
have
you
enough
planned
time,
it.
enough manpower, it's no problem at all. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna go flip over to table 5 as Klaus finishes. So I heard it was basically sweatshop conditions in the.
yeah. So finally they. I continue my story, or we talk about this.
Yeah, continue the story.
Klaus,
So,
look in this direction.
Finally, they got through customs on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just the last Wednesday afternoon. And we, so actually, first it was going to be Monday, then Tuesday, and then finally Wednesday. So we went to pick him up and started cutting like a bunch of crazy monkeys. And I actually on Thursday at about 5 o'clock, we all had swollen fingers, blisters, and everything, cramps, but we cut the whole terrain.
Well, it's beautiful and totally worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But I didn't have to do the work.
I thought the beach mat looked a little pink, but
it looks beautiful on the stream.
but now that I see it on the table, I mean, when we were cutting it, we thought like, oh fuck, this thing just looks pink. It's ugly. What the fuck? We paid so much money for this, and it looks pink. But I kind of like it now. And
Yeah.
when I saw the designs before, I thought like, okay, this beach mat. I mean, I'm gonna have one in my man cave. It's gonna be mine. Then when I was cutting it, I thought, oh fuck, this thing is ugly. I don't want it. But now that I see it, it's really growing on me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So who
and
knows?
For the whole weekend, I want just some gentle music coming in the background. To
Sound
this
of
man.
waves crashing.
Waves crashing, yeah.
Okay, so this is the final table that we flipped over to here during the story. This is the Ostrom versus Haley 3 matchup. The only way that I see the Ostrom player kind of breaking through the cloud wall and the defensive bonus is if those gun bunnies are blasters. They have a pretty excellent walk
shoot
threat
range.
walk and shoot range. It's speed 8 plus Energizer 10 inch essentially move. So if he can get them moved into the clouds and then all boosted attack rolls over the clumped up infantry, that's something. It certainly doesn't RFP, so Haley can bring models back. But
He has to get there first.
yeah, and he also has to get there. And I guarantee that Robin is aware of the threat range
Yeah,
on those
he is.
blasters. So we'll look. This is going to be mostly a positioning turn for the Ostrom player. We'll have to kind of come back and see. He is towing a gun bunny into a cloud right now. It looks like. So I think he's just running him there. However. Yeah, we're gonna go to table 2.
And look at that no storm wall.
No storm wall.
And
Oh.
no Hammersmith.
Oh, this is some sexy shit right there.
I guess that was the Rage Turtles' work.
They're a
Yeah.
turtle
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
win, babe.
Yeah, so Rasheth definitely feeded. Obviously,
what we assumed he did.
Yeah, well, we've got there's a
Oh, there's a marker.
right
Oh.
right here.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So I'm
Dominic, you sexy beast.
so Dominic has feeded.
Also, he's my size, so I might just Shanghai his shirt. I want it.
Bartek is going crazy over here when
Yeah.
he saw the stream.
So presumably he has probably put down Curse of Shadows, right? That's Rasheth's.
Does he have Curse of Shadows?
Is it Curse of Shadows or is it? It is Curse of Shadows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It-
He has an armor debuff. I know that.
Yeah, I think it's Curse of Shadows. So anyway, he has obviously armor debuffed the Stormwall and managed to potentially
only
just shoot it off the table, would be my guess. From
Yeah, with
I think he
only
actually
one of
meleeed it.
them, because the other Animatrix down here in the zone removed the Hammersmith that
yes.
was down there.
So we are missing Jake's Hammersmith. You can see Jake's has pulled back into the ocean down here. I assume she's still alive because she has focus on her.
yeah, she just
yeah.
she just want to do it, doesn't want to do it anymore, and just walks into the ocean.
I mean, this is the disadvantage of playing a Haley list of this sort with a very low model count. You are tremendously dependent upon your Stormwall surviving, and by the looks of it, the Stormwall didn't even make it to Haley's feet. So,
I actually think that I mean, we saw just as we left this table the previous round. I think where the Siege Antimatrix is now, I think he meleeed the Stormwall to death, because I saw that him measuring up and putting down a proxy base more or less in the middle of that zone.
Yeah.
So it's very this feels
Like the
very aggressive with a Stormwall.
yes,
Yeah,
I'm surprised that
probably too
Florian
aggressive.
put it where he could charge if that is the case.
I think did he? I don't know. Did he underestimate Rashad's damage output? Maybe.
yeah,
Perhaps.
probably. And just a quick update: it's not whatever we said before. It's Blood Mark. Target enemy model suffers -2
Okay.
arm.
Okay,
And
Blood
the
Mark.
Blood Mark,
spellcaster
yeah.
can transfer damage from an enemy attack to the affected model one time.
Well, that's right. Blood Mark.
See,
Blood Mark, yeah.
Curse of Shadows. I know about my Curse of Shadows. It's a crick spell.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That does
It's
Scorn
ours.
steals some quick spells on occasion.
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
Curse of Shadows does things, or would alter Rashad's play far beyond the armor
Yeah,
debuff.
that's fair. That's fair.
And I've never heard of anybody pulling Curse of Shadows tricks with
yeah,
Rashad.
with Rasheth. That's good. Yeah, so Blood Mark.
So with the feet, it's -4 arm, and it's
So you cancel out. You bring it down to arm 18.
Yeah. and then just go to town
And
with
then
the
go to town.
Animatrix.
The Animatrix is
Is,
POW 15
Junior
or
is still on the
16
table, right?
into. Junior, I would imagine, has
It's
to.
like
sit-
maybe
Yeah,
next
here.
year. But
behind
there's
the-
three
behind the
focus
wall.
on.
Yeah, yep.
Junior.
Junior has 3 focus on him because obviously Arcane Shield was on Stormwall, so no upkeep. I'm surprised he didn't put it up on Haley or something of that effect.
Yeah, well, he probably had it on the Stormwall, and then the Stormwall died, and now it's his turn, and
So
he still
let's
has to
just
act.
Still activating, still thinking about what to do.
Let's just go through the damage output this Animatrix can pull out. By the positioning and by what we saw in the earlier turn, I think the Animatrix got into melee with the Stormwall and didn't just shoot him off the table.
That could be.
And she has a power 18, a power 15 mount, a double reaver that's power 13, and D3 +1 ROF.
Does
that's-
does the double reaver gain a benefit versus huge base models, or is it only medium and large according to the rules?
I think most of that.
Yeah, +2 to huge based.
Yeah, so power
Yeah, they
15.
changed
yeah,
that, yeah.
power
So
15.
it's, so it's
into the
power
huge base.
15 against armor 18. It's
Yes.
dice of
Oh,
3
sorry.
and possible 4 shots, boostable of course. And then he has the spears,
Yeah.
which are power.
Not so much.
Yeah, you are right. The guns are not boostable from the Fury, but he can buy more attacks
Okay,
with that POW 18 clubtail, which is hitting at dice
power
even.
22 basically.
Dice, yeah,
Yeah.
dice even, yeah.
And those spears are
Like power 11 or something.
power
like
11,
that. Yeah.
so go up to power.
Effective power.
They're hitting
15,
at dice
yeah,
off 7,
no.
so
Yeah.
they're really just poking. But the point is that he can buy, like he gets a charge at POW 18 or at dice even. He gets a dice off 3 second or mount attack. Not if he charges, I guess. Doesn't get the mount attack if he charges. But he gets 4 POW 15s.
Up to
on
4
boost-
POW
Up to
15.
4 POW 15 on boostables. And he can buy up to 3 more dice evens. I don't think the Animatrix did it all by itself.
No,
But
No.
yeah.
but I think
There's
where
a,
this
there's a shaman right behind it.
Yes.
So he probably shot, and there's reavers here.
Yes.
I think.
Yes,
so they shot
I
at
think
it as well.
everything went into that.
if there's
Stormwall.
if the Stormwall was in the middle of the zone where we expected it would be, then in
Yeah.
that case, his whole army could unload on it to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
And
that feels like
A mis-
overly
a-
risky play.
A pretty, I think I think it's a misplay by the Haley 2 player to put the Stormwall where it can even be engaged by that Siege
Because
Animatrix.
it's very possible that Dominic didn't even have to charge. Because the Siege Animatrix, you would underestimate how ridiculously fast it is.
Yes, I remember the first time I played against it, I was blown away by what it's speed 8, right?
Something.
Yeah.
Speed
Yeah.
way too much.
Yeah. Coming from Mercenaries with our Speed 5 Siege Crawler, it felt
Is it even speed 5?
it's Speed 5. It is.
You
Speed
sure it's
5.
not just speed 4?
It is Speed 5.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's technically the Stormstrider's speed 5 as well.
Yeah. Let's
So-
check out Table 5. All right, so this is sort of indicative of the kind of desperation that this matchup I think is going to bring to the Ostrom player. He ran his gun bunnies into the cloud under feet, which makes his bunnies run a little farther to get into this cloud here, and higher armor to survive his strategy. But he essentially ran his bunny into the cloud, and then he's using it as a targeting beacon for his PAL 15 siege crawler shots to try and blast damage some of the trencher infantry off the table.
And I think a couple of Stormblades as well, at least one of the gunners.
Very
Right.
very possible that yeah, I think you're right. It looks like he's picked up some Stormblade
Yeah.
or maybe a gunner there. Probably the second level behind the line. I don't think that this strategy is going to really pay off. He can't kill very many models
Yeah.
doing this,
I
and
think
Haley
even-
can
I
bring
think
the
even with
ones that are
the-
important back.
I think even with the Ostrom feat right now, which does +3 arm,
Plus
I
the
believe.
arm. Yep.
I think he's gonna lose at least 2 to 3 of these bunnies
Oh, yeah.
in the next turn.
And I think the bunnies are probably, because of their boostable blast damage, are the only thing that are really going to help him in the high defense skew that Haley 3 brings. So I didn't think that this would be a matchup that the Ostrom player could really win, but I definitely don't think this strategy is going to pay off. Yeah. So it looks like end of his turn, ship over. We can see he hasn't really killed.
Yeah,
Much
Robin
of
is going to
Haley's
take a piss
infantry.
now. I think
Yeah.
he passed the clock. He's just said that. I'm going to take a piss.
Yeah,
There's one thing, though. I see there a big unit of dwarves.
You
on
can-
top.
can
Those
see-
are dwarves near the clock
Yes,
there, right?
yeah. So there's he's run his hammer, presumably under the feet. They run 14, so he's run his a full unit of Forge Guard up here in the top part of the table.
I mean,
Presumably
this-
the
at
threat
least this
down.
is something. This looks like Crick's play.
I-
Like
A
put
little
your
bit, yeah.
shit all over the table.
Yeah,
This is
he's-
good. I like that. I gotta respect that.
Yeah,
And there's
so-
at the bottom. There's
yeah,
the dwarves
he's
as well.
outflanked with the other full unit.
Yeah, so
yeah.
he's still. I mean, scenario-wise, he's still in the game.
Oh, yeah,
right?
he won't-
He's got a guy near the flag there.
Yes, he won't
Um,
lose this game on scenario, but he
Does
he will
Does he
once
have
his
something
attrition
in that zone, in the rectangular zone?
in
Yes,
this
he does.
rectangular zone.
No,
There's
no,
there's
the
four-
top one.
Oh, in the top
Twelve.
one, there's a Forge Guard there, but there's
Yeah.
nothing.
There's no-
there's nothing to score. That
Ah,
zone.
shit!
back here there's a model.
But it's not in the zone.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, he
see,
ended his turn.
Yeah, I don't see a bunny up there.
So Robin can theoretically just kill that one dwarf and run something,
a jack
jack-ish
to the zone
in
yeah.
there in that zone
Thorn-
just to go and snipe a point.
Yeah.
Thorn is just up here at the cloud,
Yeah.
the cloud wall. So he's a prime target to
But
run
does-
over and just score that
Does he
zone.
have Thorn in this list?
Yeah, he does.
And
He does.
How is he
Actually,
contesting
recognize the
the
model on the
Yeah,
table.
yeah,
How is
yeah.
he contesting the bottom zone also with 3 dwarves?
Like
Three
four-
trenchers and
maybe
a
4
charger.
dwarves.
There's, I think these 4 dwarves are all in
Yeah.
the zone. It appears.
They are.
Yeah.
There's just, but they're probably in the feet still, right? Because
The feat's a pulse, so once you activate
Oh.
within Ostrom, then you get the benefit of it. It
Oh,
doesn't.
okay,
Yeah. So there-
okay.
every model on the table right now is +3
Probably
armor for Ostrom.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
and
good.
you
Well,
can
I
see
could
how
maybe, but-
relaxed Robin is about the matchup if he just goes.
yeah,
uh,
he just passed
goes
by
to
our
the- to the
table,
bathroom.
gave us a thumbs up. I think he's cool.
I'm
Yeah.
actually because of this cloud wall. So the other mercenary player had his list pair is Ostrom and Thexus, and because of the existence of the Haley cloud wall. I'm actually surprised he didn't drop Thexus. All the
Because of the sprays and everything.
well, the sprays, but also Eyeless. Oh, Eyeless Sight doesn't ignore clouds anymore, right?
does,
yeah,
it does,
it's forest that it doesn't ignore. So yeah, because of that, he can actually charge through. It's quite hard for them to hit, but agitated drudges get up to mat 9, so that's
But
not terrible.
Robin's second list is a siege list.
Or sorry, not agitated drudges, but
So this might have been a
adrenal list.
Yeah.
Right.
So
His,
this might
his
have been
other
a
his other
list
list is a
thing.
siege list. Yes.
Yeah, so maybe he felt that his better pick was definitely Ostrom.
It could be. The siege list is
It's a quick drop.
yeah. The siege list to me doesn't really feel like a list that Thexus would be bad into. I mean, I don't know that it would be. I don't think it's a slam dunk for Thexus or anything, but I feel like that's a game he could play, whereas I don't think that this game is a game that he can play as Ostrom into Haley 3. So I think his drop was... But when we were looking back at his list choices throughout the previous rounds, it looked like he picked Ostrom every round.
Okay.
So he may just really be an
comfortable
Ostrom player.
into- yeah.
So I do think he had a chance to get himself a better matchup in this round. But he just may not be comfortable with Thexus, or he may have a completely different viewpoint on the matchup than I do, obviously. Yeah, so we can go ahead and check in on table 4. This is
Which
the
is
Unit 2 into the
Bernhard
Dreamer.
against the Dreamer.
Yeah. If it's possible for us to find out what Arcana the Grimkin player picked for this game, that would be great. And whether or not any of them have been triggered yet.
Okay, I still have no idea what that is. Anyway, while we swap over, there's the one update from the other stream going on here. Robo Dunford did a Robo Dunford, and England Lions is up 1-0.
Yeah, so it sounds like Pat Dunford's
Struck again.
Struck again
With Grimkin.
With Grimkin, yes. He is
Yes.
he is 4-0 on the weekend.
Being one of the most high-profile Signar players, I think it's remarkable for him to swap over to Grimkin. But he looks ready as fuck. I mean, he looks tight as well.
Yeah.
I think he must have dropped like 10
he just-
kilos.
He
Oh
just,
yeah, he's lost
he
quite a bit of
looks
weight.
he looks fucking tight.
Yeah.
he just might try and repeat Chris Davies' feat from last year, winning Iron Gauntlet, then winning WTC, and then going on to win the War Machine weekend.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
he already has the Iron Gauntlet in the bag,
Yes, he does. Yeah. Yeah.
and he's still in the running for the WTC.
Definitely on the extremely short list of best players in the world, Pat
Yeah.
Dunford. Yeah. So it looks like it's interesting. It looks like the French player here is Victor has chosen to brick up in in the burning earth, and I don't know if that's
I
key to a strategy. I think it may be to help keep or punish the infantry on the Unit 2 player's side if they want to come in and try to soften the brick up before the Griffins come in. We saw that yesterday with an Unit 2 player playing into Viros 2, where his Tharn charged in, softened up the front line, then died, and then when the Griffins came in, they were able to mop up from the damage the Tharn initially put down. The Grimkin brick much harder, and perhaps taking away some charge angles from infantry or punishing infantry. They can still get in their hits, but dying to the fire might be a part of the strategy. Or maybe this is just the convenient place for him to put his models. We're going to check in over on table 1. This is the Assyria and Axis table. Is this this looks like Imperatus here in the far rectangular zone,
And he's
and he's just taken out a
a tap and now an inverter.
killed a battle engine and now killed an inverter. So
That makes the matchup a whole
Yeah,
lot
it
better
makes
for
it a
Benjamin.
lot-
all of a
lot
sudden now we can see this happening.
Yeah.
Maybe this is
Yeah, I mean,
serious
the
feature.
Strike Force are, yeah, it's probably his feature.
does-
And
it
Strike
does
Force is
look
still
like a
Strike
feature.
Force
Yeah,
against
yeah.
Jacks, right?
Yeah,
Turn
yeah,
first,
it is,
okay.
it is.
Yeah.
So he softened them up and then went to town with Imperatus.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, getting Imperatus in there. I wonder if
Also, hang on before we. Yeah, there it is.
You
It's
guys-
not Imperatus, it's Chimera. Or a Phoenix. That should probably be a Phoenix.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're right. I think it's a
Chimera
Phoenix.
is down here,
Yep,
and
it's
that's
a-
the Phoenix.
Yeah,
Ah.
yep.
You guys, I'm gonna take a piss. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, Phoenix here, Chimera here, and yeah, getting losing the TEP that this early in the match. It looks like still plenty of infantry, unless I sincerely doubt this is a dead pile. It looks like a bunch
No,
of
that's not a dead pile.
yeah, that's a
that
bunch
gives
of
us, that gives us this pile gives basically free reign over the top half of the
yes,
table,
agreed.
because the TEP can't deal
Yeah.
with both parts of the army.
Yeah, this looks pretty bad for the Axis player. I'm curious whether or not Axis is feated yet. Is it possible to find out if Axis is feated yet in this game? I would have thought he would have used the feat to kind of control the ability of these two Warjacks to get into his side of the table, but perhaps Benjamin has just weathered the feat already, or maybe he's simply outpositioned and outplayed. his
Yeah,
opponent.
he maybe caught him off guard because
Yeah,
I think this was pretty much the position he was in when we left the table.
I think so. Okay, yeah. So Axis hasn't feated yet. So yeah, it appears that Benjamin has just managed to take advantage of opponent's placement and managed to get his jacks. Well, the one jack, the Phoenix, up into the fight.
Yeah. So, but the Axis player it's his turn, and he's still contesting that zone up there.
Yes.
There is, if I see that correctly, nothing contesting the rectangle. Oh, there is.
Okay, so to let you guys know what the Arcana is on the Grimkin side, it is the same ones we saw yesterday. All fall down, of course, because that is the
Trump
Dreamer's Trump Arcana. So, and that is the one that triggers when your enemy destroys a model. Then you can basically knock every model down at the end of its activation. But between I think the Griffins, if you fly, are you immune to knockdown? Is that the general flight rule now, or is that
don't
unique to the
know,
Legion
actually.
Serpent? It's the Legion Serpentine beast, I mean. So I think the Griffins can still potentially be knocked down, which might be actually more relevant because they flank with each other, right?
Yep, they
Yeah.
are.
So
They do.
it makes it actually hard to get off more than one flank, or to get off the flank at all. You just can't. So it's a more relevant Arcana in this matchup, I think, unless the Griffins are weirdly immune to knockdown.
I'm
but
just trying to
yeah.
find out.
We'll double check. I'm sure in the chat, which I don't currently have pulled up, you're letting me know how dumb I am. So, yeah. So that Arcana is
No, they are not immune to
yeah.
to
So
knockdown.
that Arcana is quite valid in this particular matchup because of the reliance on flank for the heavy hitting out of this list.
And the other Arcana he has is Sacrifice, which is kill a model in his command range and heal everything up in the army.
Yes. So that one is a little less. That I feel like that one's quite good against shooting armies, particularly when you have like the Shield Guard Kravitz.
Yeah.
When you're like, as we saw in the Abbey 2 game, when you're capable of just melee focusing on one target at a time, it makes it somewhat less good. It looks like he's bringing the Warpwolf up or the Pureblood up to spray and has sprayed over, maybe attempting to do some damage to the battle engine, or maybe he knocked a solo off the flag. I don't know if maybe there was a Gremlin Swarm on the flag, but he's definitely gotten that Pureblood in harm's way.
Yeah. And the French player just rolled the fire from the
From the
Burning Ash.
Burning Earth, yep.
Or Burning Earth.
Yeah. And then the final Arcana is Ruin, which is the if you cast a spell in his command, he cancels the spell and makes it so you can't cast any more spells or something to that effect that turn. Mostly
And
it's a spell canceling.
Looking at the top half of the table, it looks like Bernhard is in total command of that half. He has somebody on his own flag. It's the white main.
Yep.
And I don't see any Grimkin model up there.
No, not at all. I think he's fully boxed him out, and
There's a bird towing that zone, so it's going really well scenario-wise.
yeah, I'd like to know.
It
if
looks like it's turn 3 now, so he should have scored 2 points up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks like the Una player is in control at the top of the screen, but I think that the bottom portion of the screen, where we have the Grimkin brick of Cage Ragers, that's going to be quite
Just-
difficult to deal with.
Just out of pure curiosity, where are the Skin and Moans?
That is a good question. I think I saw one in the dead pile, so I think they have potentially killed one.
And I think this one is one.
Yeah, so I
So
think
3 Cage Ragers and the Skin and Moans in the...
yeah, this looks like 3 Cage Ragers and a Skin and
yeah,
Bones in
here's a
this
Cage
group.
Rager in that pile, definitely just below his arm.
Yeah.
And the other one is probably a Skin and Moans. So
Okay.
Bernhard already did do quite some work.
Did do some good work, yeah. So we'll have to see. I also am not quite sure. I see one Gremlin Swarm maybe at the very top of the screen up here.
Oh no, there's the Skin and Moans.
Hey, here's the Skin and Bones, but
But
I
that
don't know
looks
if that's
like
I
that-
think
yeah,
that's a
that
dead
looks
Skin
dead.
and Bone. I don't think it would be that far from the
Yeah,
killer.
yeah.
So, yeah, it looks
also, he didn't do 2 points because the Gremlin Swarm's contesting up there.
right. Yep. So,
So
he's got a
it's-
Gremlin Swarm on that.
It's 1 point there, and he probably knocked off a Zolo here that had 1 point.
That would be my guess. Is there may
Yeah.
have been a Gremlin Swarm, and that this guy came in to spray down this line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think probably a very slow attrition matchup with a handful of scores. We'll see if is it Bernhard, right?
Bernhard.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see if Bernhard can get rid of that Gremlin Swarm, what he's got to get up to the top of that zone, and maybe put some pressure point-wise there. But I also feel like this Pureblood is almost certainly just dead.
Yeah.
And once that happens, the
birds will probably go in.
I suspect that the birds are going to have to go in. But if he's still holding all fall down, that can be problematic
Yeah.
for dealing
Can we
damage.
go to Robin's table really
yeah,
quickly?
we absolutely can go to Robin's table. Let's switch to table 5. This is the Haley 3 and Ostrich.
And
So-
Robin's on the table.
This is what I wanted to show you. If the knee goes on the table, you are fucked.
So Robin up on the table, getting a good look. We can see he's sort of surrounding the bunnies, probably trying to do some damage. I'm imagining this is still into Ostrom's feet turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And Stormblades obviously hit very hard, but I think we're looking at maybe the Ostrom player losing.
No, he
Uh,
seems to be tanking through.
Yeah,
right? It
he'll
looks
lose,
like he's
he'll lose
tanking through.
He'll lose a couple bunnies here, but not too much.
Yeah, the Stormblades have Ragman behind them
Yes.
because it's a non-theme list.
Right.
And so, yeah, they can put out, yeah, and there goes the bunny.
Yep. I think he'll lose. He'll lose a couple bunnies, maybe the 3 that are the most
Yeah.
jammed in there. That'll probably be about the work that
And
Robin will do.
Judging by these tokens, I believe. No. Sorry, I'm mixing up Haley 2's and Haley 3's feet. I wanted to say those are feeded by Haley, but
No,
it's Haley
yeah,
3, not
yeah.
Haley 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those tokens are supposed to represent. Maybe systems are out on
Yeah,
them.
maybe that.
Yeah. So yeah, he's down 2. I think he'll probably be able to get the 3rd. It depends on what he's got for attacks. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
certainly hard to get through Ostrom's feet turn and kill the jacks. You
Yeah.
you do what you can and then you bunker up again.
Yes, 2 Trenchbusters in the list, which can do quite a lot of work with
They can.
Ragman themselves.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right, we're going to check out table 2. This is the Resheth and Haley 2 game.
Okay,
So
this
we-
looks.
Yeah, I mean, we knew once the storm wall went down, we knew this game was over.
Yeah.
It's 5-3 currently. So
For Dominic.
for
and,
Dominic, which is not like, obviously he's not out of control yet, but Dominic has his own solo on this flag with virtually nothing that the Haley player can do about it. I
Yeah.
think once the game state gets to a point like that, the game
It's
is
done.
over.
I think
Because the Jack down there died. Jake's died.
Yeah.
Both Siege and Mantrix are still alive.
Yeah.
And the Haley player right now, no, he just has Thorn. He has no way of dealing with those.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
this game's over.
Yeah, once the storm wall went down, we
Yeah.
knew this game was over. It's just a matter of time for
We don't even need to be the New York Times for that.
for Dominic to
so
get
called
the
it.
requisite number of points.
Can we say that? Called
Yeah,
it.
oh, we can absolutely we can absolutely call it. So we're gonna go over to table one. This is Benjamin and Nicholas with the Syria.
So
Axis.
what's is the tab there?
Yeah, so obviously we see Axis has retaliated against that Phoenix that came in and managed to take it off the table. He's jammed what appears to be probably Servitor bot of some kind into the area of the flag just to contest it for a turn. Obviously that's going to die here on this turn.
And we, if I read the counter correctly, we are in round 3 and it's 1-1.
That is what it looks like, yes. It looks like for the time being, Axis has his rectangular zone
yeah.
controlled. And contesting here with maybe one of the light jacks, one of the galvanizers. I'm assuming this TEP is still in play and
Yeah.
just has moved back to prevent itself from getting charged, probably by that
Chimera.
Chimera.
No, Hemera, not Chimera.
Oh, Chimera. My
yeah,
bad.
it's
my
her
bad.
character, Jack.
Yes, Chimera.
In the big zone, and I mean in the circle zone, there's just one convergence model left, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I
it's
think
it's the galvanizer here.
the
'cause
galvanizer, but this is I think a servitor here.
No, he has all his front arcs in black and yellow, so
You don't.
that's a model of Benjamin.
You might be right. It really looks like I'm trying to figure out what it would be from the. I think it might be a little black and yellow. We'll have to see. Maybe we can get somebody to check and see if the center zone has more than one.
Maybe
convergence
that's the
model in it.
spears of Syra.
It might be. Yeah. You might be right. That could be the. I definitely think these models here are spears or.
Yeah.
Some. I'm just not sure about this one, and I don't know that it really matters whether it's one light and one servitor bot or just one light.
No, it does matter because if he kills the light, he's gonna score that zone.
It's just a galvanizer in the center.
Okay, so it is only that galvanizer right here in the center zone. So the question is whether or not it can hold up. I wonder if we're under Axis's feet this turn. I suspect we are. It looks like there's a token right here.
So even without going into Zasha's and
So he just
Crucible
killed.
and
He just cleared the circular zone.
Yeah.
Yes, he did just clear the circular zone, so that'll help him.
even without going into the Crux Mirror and into Bernhard's Una versus Dreamer, we have 3 games that are clearly going the Germans' way at the moment.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Because I think Benjamin has the French player on his back foot here, and Dominic has his game all but sewn up, and Robin looks really confident into Osram. So, yeah, I'm
I think
doing a little bit of New York Times and saying already calling it for the Germans.
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we can go to table 4 with Unatu and the Dreamer, and it looks like
Another Cage Rager left. No.
So
There's one down here. Here's the second, and here in the Artifice of Deviation is the third,
Yep.
and the Skin and Bones.
Yep. So we got all 3 Cage Ragers, but he's broken up the
brick.
main point
He
is
has
he's
to.
broken up the brick.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah. So my guess is the Gremlin Swarms, by and large, except for this one here, are off the table. It's hard to see, but I don't see any others on the table. Once that happens, he's going to have to spread out. And spreading out obviously makes it harder for the Dreamer to help cover, although her control is quite large.
Okay. Can we maybe go and speculate on the Kriegsmir?
Yeah, let's. We haven't checked in on the Kriegsmir
In a while, yeah.
Partly
Let's-
because I don't think any
because
of us
it's a
are super
Kriegsmir.
excited to watch it.
It's a
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be wrong about that because I actually am.
Oh, okay. My
Because
apologies.
you might not notice, and I would never admit it to his face, but or actually I would. No, Sasha is he's a little bit my hero, so I'm a big fan of
a
his.
little bit of a fanboy
Yeah,
crush on Sasha.
yeah. There's actually some models of mine on that table. I'm not sure if he's actually using them, but I lent him some models for the WTC. So, and when I did, I told him like, okay, so these models, last time what happened when I lent somebody my models, they won the Belgian Masters. That was Robin. It was
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Oh yeah, that was quite a story. He thought he left his models on the train to the Belgian Masters. He was playing Signar at the time, I believe, and luckily he didn't. He left them at home. So he came to the Belgian Masters and then was like, I don't have any models. So Klaas lent him his Crux. Robin has never played Crux before, so he just casually won the tournament.
In his defense, I don't know if you need to defend that, but it was right after 2015 WTC, which was a very strong point for Crix. It was Denegra 1 with all the guns, and it was Gorshade 3 with all the horses.
Yeah.
So it was it was a very strong pair, and it was back there when Necrosurgeons were actually just 17-inch guns.
Right. Right. So currently Sasha's up 1, but it does kind of look as though the French player is making a little bit of headway. It's difficult, obviously. The models are all technically the same models, but it looks as though our French player Vincent has grassier, greener bases, and
Unless-
Sasha has more like gray kind of gravelly type bases.
Yeah, unless I'm totally mistaken, it's the Coven's feet turn.
It
'Cause
could be the
that's
Coven's
his- that's
feet
his-
turn.
Because
Yes.
that's the Don Hornacek feet token.
It is a feat
Yeah.
token. The question is, it's not really by the egregore, and the egregore is quite far back.
Just
so
to fill you in on the story of this feet token, that's from the Steam Storm, the tournament Martin Hornacek holds in Bratislava. And the writing on this thing is the Don wills it.
aha,
And
I have heard about this token.
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
the players are supposed to put it on the table and then loudly proclaim the Don wills it.
Okay,
And then they feed.
I see.
But it might just as well be, because we're on round 3 already, it might, and he has only 23 minutes left, it might just be that this is from the previous turn where he has feeded.
And he's shoved it off to the side.
Yeah.
That's what I think. This feels kind of late for Coven Feet. Coven Feet tends to be turn 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've played a full 3 turns or if.
If that's the beginning
Yeah.
of the turn 3, yeah.
Right, right.
Well,
Um,
looking at the time, I don't know.
And it could just be that Denegra has pressed enough that Egregore decided to be back here. But you know,
Yeah.
typically when the Coven feats, the Egregore is like up here.
Yeah,
With
you're
the
right.
Urates,
You're right.
right? Yeah.
You're right. So it looks like that's the round after the feed
Right.
has been in effect.
and then it'll run back the round after the feat. Yeah. So I do think it feels like there's enough models on the French side, and again, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but the way I see it is, I might be wrong there, is that Sasha has clearly jammed. I mean that he's still controlling the bottom zone,
Yes.
and that the French player is not really making a lot of headway to get into that zone.
Right.
He's got a Death Ripper back there scoring, so yeah, there might be something going on. I also don't really see a lot of contesting models on the top side. And knowing Sasha, there will be some solo at the flag.
Can we maybe go to table 2? It looks like Dominic is finishing off the Haley player because there's Junior still left behind. Yeah, Haley's in the top zone, and there's no jacks left on the table. It looks like it's only Junior and Haley left on the table
Yeah, I believe
for the
it
Haley
is.
player,
I believe
and
it is
this
only Junior,
looks
yeah.
like
Yeah. This is
Okay,
a
so the
really
Rage
over.
Turtles
Yeah.
have struck again.
Oh, check it out. He's gonna bring Rashad out. Is he? Is he not? Is he? Is he not?
Get in there, Tubby. Yeah. Right. He's gonna score 1, 2,
Well, he's gonna
3,
score.
4.
2,
I think. I don't know if he'll
3.
score his flag if the Dakar is up there or not. Oh, there's an Extoller up there as well, I think. So yeah, I believe on this turn he can quite easily just score 4 points, and that
It's
should be
probably not
that.
necessary to have Tubby in the zone.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you do it the right way, you don't. If you
Right.
don't need your caster in the zone to score, then don't just keep it back.
Right.
Keep him back.
Right.
You're not gonna give your opponent some random.
Some random Haley hand cannon assassination.
Yeah. But I think he needs to contest Haley's zone, right?
Yeah. Or score Haley's zone, right? Because she doesn't contest.
True.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go to.
Let's see Justice roll.
We can go back.
Because he's actually going for a shot on Haley.
He might. He's certainly the French player.
Yeah,
certainly
that's
has.
that's the damage roll
Yeah,
on
that
Haley.
is a damage roll. So the
1 point. They have repo. There's the contesting.
Yeah.
That was just okay. I can shoot at her, so I do.
So I might as well.
Might as well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if the playing it. Okay, so that's not a soul word.
But there's a will breaker back here. Maybe he is in running range of the
Running
flag.
range of the flag,
He is in
yeah.
running range of the flag.
Yeah.
Just as I
He's
say,
running
so
there.
that's- yeah.
Okay, and it's
game.
done.
Yep. That's
So
game.
it's
That's game.
1-0 for Germany.
Yep.
Yay!
Oh,
Sorry.
hang on. That would be 2 because I see Benjamin walking around here.
Yeah.
He looks done as well. Can we?
So let's go to table 1 just to check in and see. It looks like perhaps he assassinated Axis. It looks like all the strike force came forward into that circular zone. So
Okay, so it's a scenario win 7-2.
okay, so Axis was further down than we suspected. Assyria managed to win a 7-2 on scenario here.
So it's Germany up 2-0.
Yes. So Germany is up 2-0. It looks like the Axis player just didn't quite have enough models to get in contest. That the back flag on the top side, I think, was just problematic. Probably fed Benjamin, a point on each of his turns.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and check in. We haven't been to table 4 in a little bit, so if we can go check in on table 4. All right.
So it's Bernard's turn. It actually might be 3-1 on scenario points because I think that white man up at the flag has scored the whole time without the French player being able to. Oh no, he just removed the model
Yeah.
from next to the white man, so
Yeah.
he was able to
He's
contest.
been contesting it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. We can see we still have, I think, the same. Last time we checked in, same number of Grimkin.
Yeah.
So we've got the Cage Rager Skin and Bones
Bones,
there with the
Cage
battle
Rager
engine,
down
and then we
there.
got one here that's contesting both the center and the far zone.
Yeah,
And then we have one sitting on the hill here, probably making sure that no solos run up to take this flag from German player. So the Grimkin player seems to be doing a good job of spreading out and preventing victory on scenario. And I think that and keeping the Dreamer alive are essentially the keys to the Grimkin player winning this game, because I just don't think this Una list has the punching power to get all the way through. But Una still has plenty of models left on the table.
The thing is, the positioning of the birds kind of suggests that he hasn't feeded yet.
Yes, I agree.
So it might actually now be his feed turn because he's measuring from that bird below to the cage rager.
Yeah.
And so he might go all in now, but
kind of trying to figure out where the Dreamer is. I assume she's got everybody in
yeah,
her.
that's here, just right under his
head. I think this is the Dreamer here.
That should be the Dreamer, yeah.
Not much to worry about as far as being shot to death, obviously, from Una's list. So just just keeping plenty of distance between her.
Judging by the amount of fury next to Una, I don't think he has feeded yet, because otherwise he probably would have put out a primal or two, and Gorax is also pretty far back. So that bird is not under feed.
Right.
And just goes into the Cage Ranger like that.
So I'm curious how...
oh, he's slamming the Cage Ranger.
That's interesting. Just to get him off of that bottom rectangular zone?
Yeah, and score a point, and nice.
Sure.
I'm always surprised when people pull moves like this, because I never think about power attacks with Jax, because I play so much shooty armies that, like, Josh Bates yesterday surprised me when he told me a story about how he played with Kane 3 against Virus, who bricked up his Griffins. So he just had Ace slam into one of the Griffins and knock down 4 of them and Imperatus. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, he can do that.
Yep, sure can.
I'm always so far back and shooting. It's
right. We're gonna check in with the Krix mirror. And apparently Sasha has scored 4 control points on his... Okay, so retracted. The French player, Denegre 1, has just scored 4 control points. So sort of what we talked about, and you can see that feat token on Sasha's side is in the same place as it was. So I think we were right. That wasn't the feat turn. He'd probably feed it on turn 2.
But this now is the bottom of 3, and the French player has 22 minutes left, and Sasha has 19 and a half minutes left.
So very close.
It's a very slow grinding game, which is like...
We expected that was the case.
A, that, and B, Sasha is just a master grinder.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think this game is sort of playing out.
The matchup is not in his favor if he needs to grind.
Yeah. Right. I think this is playing out the way
long game
that
is
we
in the
talked
favor
about.
of the French player.
Right.
But Germany's up 2-0. I really can't say how the Una 2 Dreamer game is going to go, but I'm very much expecting Robin to win. So losing this one won't hurt them as much.
Let's go check up on Robin, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we're going to check
Meanwhile,
out the Haley
the other
3.
French team is 1-1.
They're 1-1.
Yeah, who were they playing against again?
I think
let me have a look.
I think Sweden.
No, they're playing
sorry,
Norway.
Norway.
They're playing Norway, and my connection was interrupted. And here we go.
Okay.
So, France, no.
So this is interesting, actually, this table state here. You can see the cloud wall is much smaller, and the Haley player is definitely still down models. So the Austrian player has made headway, which is much better than I expected. The Forge Guard still spread out, still threatening to charge in. But
and I think these Forge Guard in the bottom zone haven't moved
they
a
haven't.
single
Nor has the one. Nor have the ones on the top. The top are exactly where they were.
Yeah.
I think basically what we've missed is Haley's Haley 3's. I don't think probably feet turn.
Yeah,
maybe feet turn, but just dealing with the bunnies, and we can see she's dealt with all the bunnies.
Yeah. And just a quick update on a few other things. Australia Drop Bear is up 1-0 over USA Red.
Okay.
Josh Bates won his matchup against Brendan Andrews. The second Germany team, Germany Fafnir, is 2-2 against Finland Mannerheim. So it's down to Denegre 2 versus Testament to decide this matchup. USA Blue is 1-1 against Belgium Griffins. And USA Texas, there's no result yet versus Sweden Norland.
So we can see here, this is one of the reasons that I am not a fan of the Siege Crawlers. They offensive output here not strong. He's been taking shots into the Haley infantry that he can see, and obviously rolling 2 dice at Rat 6, even if you can aim. Not awesome into the defensive bubble that Haley 3 provides. So not doing a lot of work, but now the Forge Guard are coming in to at least threaten.
He's
We'll
got
have
a
to
Can
lot
we
of
say it's not Ostrom?
clever.
He's
He still has a lot of infantry.
he's got a lot of board control there as well. I mean,
does.
that top zone, I don't know why there isn't a jag in there, or is it just me being blind?
I can't see one. It
Nope,
doesn't look
there's
like there's a
nothing
bunny
in
in
there.
there. All of his jacks have the white base. Well, that's not a jack. That is artillery core, I think. But
Yeah.
but they tend to have the white bases. It looks like he has just one bunny left.
There's a bunny here as well, between the siege.
Oh, you're
crawler.
right. That one does not have a white base. So
Yeah.
yeah, but we can see the 3 dead bunnies that we talked about him killing on the Ostrom's feet turn. They are dead there. The 2 bunnies are here. Yeah, but yeah, it looks like this zone has been abandoned for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is something I
Thorn-
can't understand.
Thorn is still alive. The Ironclad is still alive, and the Charger is still alive. So all the jacks on Robin's side are still alive.
Yeah.
So it might just be running Thorn into a position where he can't get charged by the Hammer Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And also, just a quick update on the time. The French player is down to 15 and a half minutes. Robin, it's his turn right now, and he has doubled the time. He has 29 minutes. And it looks like it's 1-0 for the French player.
Yeah. At least 1-0.
Yeah.
There might
Just-
be 2 marks there.
No, that's a 1.
Okay.
You can see it quite clearly on the...
Okay.
So he scored the bottom flag. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
French
that's
player
what it
scored the
looks
bottom
like.
flag.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, he is. Because there's a siege crawler next to it, and probably a solo or Ostrom himself.
I'm looking at the Ostrom list to see. He's got an Ogrim bow core.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's a Boker then
Yep.
down
Yeah,
there.
it's a medium base, and Ostrom
Yeah.
is on a small base, right?
Yes. he
Oh
is.
yeah,
yeah.
you're correct. Of course
Ostrom
you're
is
correct.
almost certainly this model here, I would imagine. Maybe that model, but I think it's there in the middle. So, yeah, I don't know. This is we'll have to see how well Robin can kind of
Can we go
punch
check,
out.
Can we go check up on Bernhard on table 4?
Yeah,
No,
let's.
Yeah, table 4. Because it's his turn, and it looks, the Gorax has moved forward. Una has moved forward. It looks like he's feeding and sending the birds into the Skin and Moans and the Cage Rager in the Artifice of Deviation, and just trying to get rid of as much as he can.
Is that the death knell that died?
The Death Knell has died.
The
Yes.
Death Knell has died.
Yes. Presumably, it's technically on the table, but it's back from where it was. So I'm
Yeah,
guessing
and it's there's no proxy base up
Right,
there, and
right.
there's
yeah.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3
it,
birds up there.
it looks like this.
Yeah, the
this Griffin probably came in under feet and killed it.
Yeah.
I don't think, particularly if this is the one hand of Fated, I can see some. I don't know if that's just Fury tokens there, or if there's maybe an upkeep.
Yeah.
But if it was hand of Fated or Primaled, that the Death Knell is not particularly, unlike most of the other battle engines, it's not particularly resilient.
So the cage treasures in the bottom half of the screen are still alive.
Yes.
But he managed to slam one out of the rectangular zone, so he should score there.
He'll score a point in that
He's-
bottom rectangular zone.
He
this
will
turn.
score a point on his own
And
flag,
he will score a point on his flag this turn.
and he might even be able to clear the upper rectangular zone, because I don't think the Skin and Moans has a toe in that zone.
No, but there's still the
Yeah,
Gremlin Swarm in the
he's
Ah,
gonna
that's
have
right.
to.
Yeah, that's a
he,
Gremlin
has
Swarm.
he may be able to. I don't know what magic weapons he has up there. If he's got some blood weavers
Well, I
up
think
there,
he has. Una herself has magic weapons, I believe.
yeah, her gun probably is. I don't
Yeah.
think she wants to get that far off the table, but
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where she is. That's
she's-
her, right?
She's right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
her near the flag.
Yeah.
So maybe he does go into that cloud, and then because she has
Yeah.
a fairly large range, I believe. 14 inches?
Well, because the Griffins are extended control range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No,
No.
They-
no, not
they-
anymore.
Oh, they
Not
did-
anymore.
Not anymore. That's
no,
right.
but
they
the
did
range
take that
on her
away.
gun.
All right, we're gonna check in on the
On the Kriegsmirror.
Kriegsmirror here. So Sasha's managed to take a point back on his own turn. We can see the amount of infantry is certainly thinned, but when it's Ghost Fleet, that's only for a matter of moments.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's the beginning of turn 4 of round 4, and Sasha is down to 12 minutes, and the French player is down to 21 minutes, and it's the French player's turn at the moment. He's bringing back a lot of pirates.
Let's say theoretically the French players should be able to close it out now. He needs 3 points.
I think so. Yes.
If he,
He needs 3 points on the most live scenario.
yeah.
Can he score the bottom flag? You think?
Oh yes, he can.
Yeah,
Unless
that
that
looks like a possibility.
Yes, because I don't think that these are.
No, these are Sasha's pirates, I think.
Where's the flag token on that side?
That's what
I
I'm
don't know.
trying to
Is that
figure
under?
out.
Isn't that where this cursor is right now? Isn't that the flag?
Yeah,
that should
like
be the flag. Yeah.
that should be
think-
where the flag is.
Maybe
That's-
we kind of.
Maybe that is the flag. I'm not.
No,
No.
the top flag
because
is
the top
up
flag's
here.
right there.
Yeah.
But
so that's
Sasha's not scoring. What is near that flag anyway? That big model. What is that?
Is
That's
that
Jack.
Is that Nightmare?
Yeah, that's Nightmare.
Is that the French player's Nightmare over on that flag? Just denying.
Could be.
Yeah,
And
I
then
believe
there's
it is.
there's 3. There's a unit of pirates right there, right?
And I think there's a chicken. That's one of Sasha's chickens up here. Of his arc nodes.
Yeah, right there is an arc node. I think that's Nightmare, and then I don't know whose pirates those are, but I think they might be the French players. I kind of think that that top
I think
part
that
of the
top
table
zone is probably there's a model from Sasha in that top zone,
yes,
but I think it's gonna be easy for the French.
always
This
the
should
problem
be
with streaming direct mirror matches, the difficulty of picking out.
So yeah,
whose
let's
models
go
is
to
whose.
table 4 where there's something.
Looks
yeah,
like
the German player's time is ticking down, and it looks like the
They're
German
just
player.
disco-
All right,
Yeah,
so
'cause
6
he
to 1
managed-
Scenario, so
Wow.
he must
So
have
Germany
been,
is winning.
even though so they weren't recording here for us really, but it looks like he was, as you suspected, probably every
Yeah.
one of his turns ticking a point up from this flag.
And then he
And
just cleared
he was
the
able
upper
to,
zone.
Yeah, he was able to get score in here. He did get rid of that Gremlin Swarm here,
And
and then
he
the
did
middle zone he may have even scored as well.
Yeah. Okay, so, and he scored.
Yeah.
He killed the
What
skin
are-
and
why are we
bones.
switching?
And yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
he killed the skin and bones in the Artifice of Deviation, which it might have towed in there.
yeah, the question is
So,
whether
yeah.
this proxy base is also
It's a
potentially dead or not.
No, that's a Cage Rager. still.
Right, but we don't know if the Cage Rager is. Maybe he also killed the Cage Rager. Probably not. But
Yeah.
if he scored 1 here, 1 here, 1 here on this turn alone, so 3 on this turn, and already had scored some from his own
Yeah.
flag.
So that's 3-0 for Germany,
Yes,
which means Germany 1 is in the semifinals.
that's correct.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I see a few players.
let's
of
let's
Germany
be really
too.
fair, and I want to be fair to everybody here. This is more or less expected, right?
It is expected. Yes. And the French players have certainly not played
Yeah,
poorly.
they had a
And
great run
I'm
so far.
Just
Yeah.
getting the
Um,
update from Germany too that they won their round against Finland Mannerheim as well. So yes,
Okay, let's go ahead and go to one of the 2 remaining games.
Robin's been in the tank for about 10 minutes, and now he's just starting to activate.
yeah,
I'm
he's
wondering
like
if this is Robin's feet turn, this turn, or if he's feated already. I think that they've played a very slow game. That tends to happen between an Ostrom feat and a Cloud Wall.
yeah, and I have rarely seen a more relaxed player even in the closing minutes of a game than Robin. He could just, even if he has 11 minutes on the clock, he wouldn't
doesn't
have a
panic.
problem going
Doesn't
into
panic.
the tank for 10 minutes
Yeah.
and then just executing in a minute and still win the game. So
So I'm curious to see how many Forge Guard he's able to kill this turn. I don't think he'll even try to get into the Siege Crawlers.
Actually, neither Robin nor Sasha actually have to finish this game. But knowing both of them, I'd say like the
In general, on the stream, I think all
like
the players
the
tend to
way
finish
they
the
are and just the characters they are, they're still gonna try to win the game.
Yeah. Okay. I think this game is probably still roughly in turn 3, maybe turn 4. I think the Ostrom Feet player's turn took quite a while. And I think the respond to the Ostrom Feet player's turn took quite a while. it looks like we have approximately the same number of dead infantry as during the Austrian player's turn, so not a lot of headway on the turn following the feat. But that was sort of expected. How much damage the Haley 3 player can do here as it breaks out.
He put the Ironclad into the bunny near the siege crawler. I don't. Since the Ironclad only has a 1-inch reach, he doesn't get to the siege crawler.
Right.
He probably doesn't contest the lower flag.
No, I think the Austrian player will continue to score this lower flag.
Yeah.
There's not really much that he can do about that.
And Grandma Haley is just killing Storm. Not Storm, it's killing Forge Guard up top.
Yes.
And
this is just sort of what happens to Forge Guard. They are mostly just victims.
yeah, unless you play him in Signa or in MK2 where they got Arcane Shield.
Yeah, that helps.
I quite liked them in Kane 2 back then. So
yeah.
he managed to take off quite a few of those.
That's half the unit.
Yeah,
is
half
gone.
the unit is gone. And now he's going to kill 2 more, and they are checking command range.
Yeah. So I'm gonna guess that this is Haley's feat turn when the echoes come out and start to do work. That typically is the feat turn.
And Baby Haley is just in the middle of that zone. Is going to start.
Looks like she's probably. I doubt chain blasting. Probably force hammer, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I think that's a chain blast.
It is a chain blast.
Maybe
Maybe
he's rolling deviation.
maybe just he's trying to pick off one of the artillery corps here. Yeah, it's not gonna do much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't care. I'm surprised she didn't hit the defense.
Could we
10 models?
Could we maybe turn up the sound on the players a bit?
Clint.
Yeah. So picked off a little take up there on one of the artillery pieces.
Yeah.
Just trying to do a little work. He's going to need to pick up a point or two this turn, I think. I don't see what he does. Like you said earlier, Klaus, that top zone seems to be for the taking. Whoever wants it can have that top zone, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so this is weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's Robin's genius play, or maybe I don't know, maybe something happened, but I found it so weird that when you have a whole unit surrounding your or flanking your opponent's army, that you don't have something left to just sneak up that point.
Right.
I mean, this is, I don't know.
So this
I mean, this is the stuff that happens to me, but to be fair, I'm not on a WTC team. I'm not undefeated after day 1. I'm not in this position.
Right.
And the thing is,
I think for this level of play, it shouldn't be there.
The fact that there's these 2 bunnies here and have been sitting here for the last 2 turns, that one of them could not have been up here in the zone over the course of that time is
what I'm just
I think, a
realizing
mistake.
is this is a house in front of this bunny.
Yes.
And so he's clouding up with the house. So
Yes,
these
yeah.
Forge Guard, they won't ever do anything.
Right. That's correct.
It's just dead meat down there.
Yeah.
So it's
he's
totally
using the house as part of his. The last turn he left open space here, and that was really the only place
that's
that
a
the
hill.
Austrian player could see.
That's a hill.
And that's a hill up above that. Yeah.
This one is a hill,
Yep,
yeah. So it's not really like an
So
open
that's
space.
he just wasted this Forge Guard. They are contesting, sure, but other than that, they don't do anything.
Yep, that's correct. And that's kind of the same thing with these bunnies currently.
To one of that bunny is definitely he can score the zone with that one bunny. I mean,
This
that
one
bunny
here?
is at the top, let's say the most left.
Yeah, if it's
left
up
bunny,
here,
that's fantastic.
it can score. But
No,
here,
where it
all
is
he does
now.
is no,
Where
it
it is-
can't because he's got models contesting right here.
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
house.
But I mean, that bunny is still threatening the zone. Like if he doesn't have these
Oh,
contesting
yes,
models,
yes,
if you manage to clear them
yes.
out, then that bunny is actually contributing to winning the game.
You're right.
But
Whereas the one that is just sitting in a
This one
trench
here,
is
yeah.
looking like he's just sitting in a trench.
Yes.
But
But he has
obviously,
no way of getting that of getting these models away unless
yeah, I
he
mean,
brings
yeah,
in
you
the
bring,
Forge
bring
Guard.
around the Forge
Well, the
Guard.
Forge Guard are going to keep running forward, but then he'll kill half
They haven't
or
moved
more
in
of the
ages.
units. Well, I think the turns in this game have been exceedingly slow turns.
Yeah.
So I
that.
think we're really seeing them not move for one turn, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think last turn they kind of pushed in, but not so far that they could be easily picked off, because he wanted them to be there for contesting purposes. I think on the next turn we'll see them probably just try to run around the house, and
But-
then probably die.
But still, I mean, despite how we let's say, despite what we said, and how we felt very confident that Robin was stronger in this matchup, I think the French player is putting up quite a fight.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And for
He
some
is.
reason, he creates the opportunities, but for some reason doesn't manage to cash in on them.
Right.
I mean, that flag right there, the top flag, has been uncontested.
Yes.
I mean, the top zone has been uncontested.
Well, part of the problem for him in that regard is he has exactly two models that can score flags. It's two Bokurs, and so
Yeah,
getting
one of them is at the
one
back.
of them is down
They're
here.
actually
scoring.
both
They're
of them
both,
there.
They're both here. So
Which
had he
is-
positioned Bokurs on opposite sides and run that
it's
Bokur up here,
It's a pity, I
Yes,
think,
yeah.
because a Boker is such a bitch to remove.
it is difficult to remove. Yeah, I think he could have played a little more dynamically with his pieces. If he had a bunny here and he had one of the Bokurs running here, like, yes, I think that the Haley 2 player or Haley 3 player is certainly capable of dealing with just those single models, but you make them deal with them.
Yeah,
And
you
that
can-
affords you additional opportunities to capitalize on them doing things that they don't necessarily want to do, moving out of the cloud wall, not having as tight grouping to prevent you from charging. But the French player just hasn't done that in this game.
Yeah, he might. What we said before, like on the Texas side, he might just not have.
As much
I don't know,
experience,
maybe not looked at this board state from the beginning and saying, okay, it's deployment. I want to do this and this and this, and if everything goes as planned, do I have the opportunities to capitalize on the game evolving? And maybe he just wanted to play safe and say, okay, I have only 2 solos to score that flag. I'm just gonna score my own flag. So he has one Bakor there, and he has the second one in case the first one dies. I can see that, but especially the top zone. I mean, that's his zone. That's his side of the board. That's
Yeah,
weird
that he
that he
can't,
doesn't have a scoring model there.
Right.
What speed does the battle engine have?
5, we said.
Okay, why does the top battle engine not just now
There is a
run?
house in between, though.
Yeah, but he can run here.
Yeah, but do you want that? That puts it in threat range of about everything.
Yeah, if the battle,
Well, it's in threat range of a lot of things right now anyway.
Well, right. So we may see it. We may see it move this
Yeah.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you said,
like this game, I
it's-
think we're looking at a game that I think has played about 3 turns. In
Yeah,
about
probably.
while all the other games have gone like 4 or 5 or 6.
no, it's
So-
it's if I read the counter up top correct, it's the 4th turn right now.
4th turn now.
So yeah, it's very very slow.
Yes. This game is just and I think that's just a function of Haley 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. You try to figure out what you can do about her, but it takes a lot of thought cycles, and then actually just playing Haley 3 takes a lot of thought cycles. So
What's the Crix game looking like?
yeah, we can check in on table 3, see how this mirror is going. It looks like Vincent's dice is kind of pushed up to the back, but at most
think
he
it's
has
a 3,
6. I
5.
think maybe 5. So he was only able
And
to
it's
pick up a
turn
point.
5 already, so they
Yeah.
both picked up a point.
Yes.
And
But-
Sasha is down to 1.5 minutes, if
Okay.
I'm reading that correctly on the clock. Or
It does-
no,
eight-
it's 8.5.
8.5
It's
minutes.
8 minutes.
maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And the French player has about 11 minutes
Yeah,
remaining.
11
Yeah.
minutes remaining.
Definitely.
But on the other hand, they can just basically relax and just play
Oh.
it through because
of course,
they're gone to the
Come on,
semis
it's-
already.
they both want to win, of course.
And
It's
apparently, just now the England-Sweden match ended as well. With
There was some clapping, but I have no
Yeah.
idea who won.
We'll try to get an update for you on that.
No, sorry, it's okay.
So again, it's quite difficult to figure out exactly whose models are whose here.
Are you giving somebody his shirt already? I want the troll.
The strategy with Nightmare in this game is interesting, assuming that that is Nightmare up there on
Yeah,
the top, but I
'cause
can't think of what else it would be.
He hasn't done anything. He's just standing there.
Well, I don't think he's particularly valuable in the matchup. It's not like he kills or removes a whole bunch of pirates or anything. There's not like a lot for him to attack except maybe the Wraith Engine if for some reason Sasha decided to make attacks with the Wraith Engine and make it corporeal, but I don't know why Sasha would do that in this matchup. So the Nightmare, like using the Nightmare, which I think is a relatively mediocre piece for this matchup, simply to deny scoring on that upper flag is interesting, because I also think that just takes too much effort from Sasha to remove, right? So you're just taking that scoring opportunity away, helping to control the game.
And
It's an interesting play.
Yeah.
Still the place is.
We just heard that England Lions won against Sweden on
So
the other stream. So
Pat
England
Dunford's
is
team will
yeah,
move. Yes.
Pat Dunford's team is up through the semifinals, and yeah, that's shaping up to be quite a semifinals with the Germans and the English already there. Let's have a look at the other matchups still going that are relevant for that. So England Knight seems to be up 2-0 over Switzerland, and there's still no result from France Asterix against Norway Moonin.
The score is 1-1 last I heard.
Okay. So we're still not sure who will be the other two teams in the semifinals, but England Lions and Germany Loreley are already through, despite the fact that Sasha and Robin are still playing. And now we can also see the score. So it's 5-3 for the French player, and it's round 5, turn 5.
Put some fingers.
And just to look at this, it just looks like Sasha's rolling some random dice, but he does do a few attacks.
Yeah.
Because the French player's removing models.
Right.
And
the real question for me. And,
okay.
Wraith Engine
Oh, he's
forward.
going for that zone.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Wraith
question is
Engine just
like,
ran over there.
Who is that? Who's
So he's
shaking
he's
back?
scoring his
Who's-
bottom zone with a caster model,
Yeah.
and he's maybe scoring the top zone
And
with his Wraith
the
Engine.
ball is even in the,
Yeah,
in
they
the
agree.
bottom
I think
zone.
I think this may be
They're all three the casters.
Yeah.
like that. It
That's
might
the
be,
Coven.
It might be the Coven there. Yeah, those three.
And he's contesting the rectangular zone and the upper rectangular zone and the round zone with the Wraith Engine parked behind
So
the
he
house.
picks
So
up
it's
two.
5-5.
Yes.
5-5.
So yeah, he scores here, and where else does he score?
I think on the top.
So we think all of these are his models.
I
Oh,
still
maybe
have
not.
no idea where the bottom flag is.
So the question is, did he score the center zone? Are all of those?
Oh,
his
that's
models?
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite possible.
Because he certainly
'Cause-
didn't score this, unless again that's not Nightmare and that's something else. As I've said,
Well,
I
judging-
couldn't think what else it would be, but
The flag, maybe? No, that's a large base.
right.
It has to be Nightmare. And I
Right.
think, looking at these models here...
And there's
it's-
nothing base to base with the flag anyway up there, so he can't be scoring that.
That model is his flag.
Okay.
He has a model on top of the flag.
All right, so
Flag marker.
apparently this is a flag marker,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't I
which
say
we
that?
assumed
Yeah,
was the case.
because of the position.
Yeah.
But Nightmare is still weird.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't look. It's not like anybody's scoring this flag either. So he must have
sco-
scored the central zone. So these must be all Sasha's models.
Yeah.
Which it's hard. Like I said, it's very hard to tell. This is why I really don't like streaming pretty close to exact mirror matches. It's just hard to pick them out. But that's the way. That's the way it turns out sometimes. The basing looks different on them, which is why I didn't think that they were all quite the same. But I think that has to be that, or weirdly, these models up here are Sasha's, and
As
he's
well,
scoring
I
that,
doubt it.
scoring that zone.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
But that one's going down to the wire as well, I believe.
yeah. It looks like
they are
they're
4 minutes to 9 minutes right now,
yeah.
and yeah.
Last turn he scored his rectangular zone or the center zone.
So yeah, as we surmise, we just got confirmation. He scored the center zone as well as his rectangular zone. So in the center zone, those are all Saucer's models, which means he's
Has
a little more
Has
ahead.
the board
I
stack.
think, yeah.
There's one pirate he brought back with that one pirate now.
Okay. So one pirate came back for Vincent and was placed in the center zone. So one of those pirates is his. I missed him placing it, but I'm sure you watching probably saw. But
Right.
Both players have their own flag models that are placed on the flag.
oh, okay. So this isn't Nightmare. This is a model specifically designed to be a flag, even though the flag
be
is
out
here,
of-
though.
Isn't it like out of position?
Yeah, the flag is
Yes.
here.
And
so
isn't that a large base?
it is a large. It looks like a large base to me.
You know
This
what?
is-
I'm just
The
gonna.
players
have
are just
pop
trying
over
to
and
confuse
check.
us.
I misspoke. It's just the boss. That is right.
Okay. All right. This is Nightmare. We have confirmation. Sorry, guys. There's sometimes a little bit of a difficulty getting translation back and forth from the table. But this is Nightmare contesting the flag.
And
as
we have to-
we've surmised, this is Nightmare contesting the flag. This is a special model for the French player to designate a flag.
Okay, so he sent Nightmare in there just to contest and
Yes.
do nothing else. Holy
I'm not
crap.
sure Nightmare does much in this matchup.
He can
Yeah,
just
probably.
Yeah, all Nightmare really
He can
does is
just
kill a few pirates that
kill
come back.
pirates. Yeah,
Right.
but
I mean-
but why not?
Yeah, sure, because it's probably not easy for Sasha to remove Nightmare from there.
So that's my thought, is that by putting Nightmare out here, you essentially just turn this off.
Yeah.
Like, Sasha doesn't score points on this. There's
okay,
no way.
Okay, but that's fantastic. But it's 18 points.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
Almost 20% of your army. That is
so,
stopping your opponent to score on one.
but let me
one
ask
flag.
you this. If what the 18 points does otherwise is kill 3 to 4 pirates, but ends up in the center and so gets parasited and killed, and you haven't really accomplished
Well,
anything with it.
You will get curses shadowed, but
Right,
yes,
yeah. So by putting him out there, it makes it inconvenient for Sasha to deal with it. And so Sasha may just say, okay, I won't score this point. Put it in the center, you just kind of give it up for no real gain. So I think it's 19. It is, when we discuss the lists, I think that Nightmare may have made this a little more balanced than we thought, because it is 19 points or whatever.
18.
Or 18 points of just kind of garbage in the
Yeah.
matchup. And then this
That's
may be
way-
the best use he can make out of 18 points.
maybe so.
A
maybe
quick
so.
update for our pirate-loving friends out there. John Damaris won his game against Byron Likes, and Ireland Guinness won against Wales Drake.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The Gendarmerie train continues to roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
continues
It's
to roll.
Don Marie, actually. Say, I assume that the model on the top corner of the rectangular zone is the Negra. I mean, with the red splashed on, because I don't see anywhere else where she
Here?
could be.
Right here is what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you might be right.
look at
Oh,
Nightmare
here comes
coming out
Nightmare.
of his little spot.
It's time to play, says Nightmare.
Finally.
Yeah,
Wha-
that,
wha-
no,
wait,
that's
what?
Denegra. Right there is Denegra.
She's going to the flag
Apparently, she's running to the flag.
and camping everything.
Camping full. Just a run to the flag. And that is also, obviously, the French player's chicken. So
Yeah.
that's why we saw the Wraith engine come here, was to contest him
Contest.
scoring that rectangular
Yeah.
zone.
Okay, so we
So
just
they're-
turning to round 6. It's 6-5 for the French player.
Yep.
And Sasha has just crossed the 4-minute mark. And
He's
is now
fucking around
debating
with
what he's going to do with the Wraith engine. Because
Yeah.
he doesn't have a
Back
landing
some
spot.
pirates.
Stay there.
So gets.
I know he has
gets
to roll his pirates first.
4 full pirates back. Hooray, Crix!
That's all. All of his other units are full.
Either full or gone. One of the two, right? Oh, no. There's one.
He realizes it's D3 plus 1, right?
Right. I don't think he does because he only put 3 down when he rolled a 5 from the other unit. So I
Maybe
feel
that's
like
all
he's-
that was killed.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But then I don't understand why he was roll a dice to have this one guy come
One guy
back.
come back. Yeah.
I probably is just stressed because he's really low on time, and French
Yes.
guy is. I mean, he's doing okay. There, hop contest. Fuck you.
Yeah, contest the flag and the rectangular zone here. Although, yeah, and I don't think Nightmare definitely doesn't have magic weapons, right? I'm not like crazy about that and forgetting.
As far
it.
as I know, he doesn't. So clear the middle zone again, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
I
bottom
believe there's
zone.
one model left of the French player. Maybe 2 or something.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
looks-
is.
yeah, he's gonna go ahead and clear the middle zone and score it
Yeah.
again. Which
And
will bring him up to
probably gonna
6, and he'll score his bottom zone, I think.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Well, so there's a pirate in there contesting, but I
Yeah.
think he'll be able to clear it out. So I think Sasha will go up 7-6 at the end of this turn.
yeah.
And then he's gonna force the French player to score past him. He goes up to 7 now.
Yeah. But there's
Uh,
still because Sasha apparently started the game. He has 2 more turns, and Sasha has 1 more turn after this.
I'm interested to see if Denegra charges the Wraith Engine. I don't know if she can.
I don't think she
kill
can
it?
kill it.
Okay, so he.
Well, yeah, I mean
clears
she
Put
can. if she puts
parasites
it.
and yeah.
But then all the parasite are all the attacks as well.
So he
She
cleared
is
the
only mat
bottom
5,
zone.
I think.
But
She is
he's
only Med 5. Yeah.
not gonna clear the flag.
I don't.
Oh no, he's still in the process of clearing. Now he's cleared the bottom
Yes.
zone.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I believe Sasha will be able to go to 7 here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
shits it
he
back. Yeah.
he scores 2, 6.
7. Yep.
7.
Yep. So score the
7.
center zone.
so
and his
it's
rectangular
the
zone
second to
again.
last turn for the French player now.
Yes.
It's
I
bottom
think-
of 6.
I suspect, just based on this, we will see a French victory by
Well,
one victory by one.
No,
control
but he
point.
has to score. Okay, he has 2 turns. That's true. But
Right.
he has to score more than Sasha.
Right.
So he has 1. He has to contest. He has to stop him from scoring, and he has to score more. So he has to
But if he can deal with
make
this,
2 points.
if he can deal with this Wraith
If he
Engine,
deals with the Wraith
Yeah.
Engine, he deals with the Wraith Engine. That's
Yeah.
fine. But
Yeah.
I think he's gonna need some seriously hot dice for Denegra to kill the Wraith Engine by herself.
it's possible.
And
It
they are
is- it
measuring
is possible.
to
It's
the Egregore and
28 boxes. The Wraith Engine?
26, I think.
26.
yeah, 26, I believe.
Okay.
And they're
Okay, they're
measuring
measuring
to
something
the
there.
Egregore down here and the
So there may
witch.
there may be an attack on these witches too, which is
So
interesting.
he will actually try a witch hunt.
But
Well played.
Okay.
Well played.
Okay. I got you.
I'll be here all night. Tip your waitress.
So it looks like the
But
French
they are
players.
getting really low on time.
both of
and
them. What's the time on the French player?
French player has 3.5 minutes. Sasha has 1 minute 20 seconds.
Yeah, and Robin's still playing as well. He
Maybe
on
we
table
can.
5.
Do we want to watch this, or shall we swap over to Robin?
I think.
Okay, there's nothing happening
on
We're
Robin's table.
we're in the last few minutes here. We might as well see if an assassination happens or if the Wraith Engine gets cleared. Let's see
Yeah,
how they finish. All right. It sounds
Okay.
like the Austrian player is probably going to end up clocking themselves on the other table. He's up 2-0. he's-
This looks like it being a Venom. I
Yes.
see an Arknote running in there. I
Yes.
had no idea that was a French Arknote still on the table.
He moved. He actually might have 2 because he moved this one last turn, so that's definitely his. But I think it might be this arc node here is his as well, running down to the hill.
Shuffling it over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's the idea to go for the assassination. I have no idea what the Coven are camping.
It looks like
looks like
6.
nothing.
It looks like
Is that
6.
6?
It looks
Yeah.
like 6.
I didn't.
So
fuck,
that's
he's never gonna
probably
die. Yeah, which
he can
seems
just
very
negate
difficult.
30 damage.
Well, it depends if he
No,
attacks
yeah.
the egregore. But if they are all like
Yeah,
if
okay.
all the witches are like here, or even if that's a witch, maybe
I don't think
like
so.
and he can charge 2 witches on their own and spray down 1.
We'll see. But he's getting low on clock. He's down to 2 minutes now, the French player.
So
And apparently he doesn't see a way to kill the Wraith engine up top.
Yeah.
Right. So for people who don't know, the way that the Witch Coven works, the witches can only spend a focus. If you attack a witch itself, they can spend a focus to negate 5 damage as per the usual rules. But they have like 12 boxes, something like that. Maybe
No,
even
they
less
have
than
8 boxes
8
each.
boxes. And defensive stats
16, I think 13.
16, 13.
Okay.
Not difficult to kill if you can get to them. The Egregore itself has a high armor value.
Yeah.
And
Defense 13, armor 17.
it can spread its damage to each witch.
Yeah, it has to. It
Yes,
has to
has
spread
spread it.
the damage to the witches. But you can take the damage across the witches the way you want. And every witch, when she gets damaged, can spend a focus to negate up to 5 damage.
Right.
So basically, if you get a Juggernaut into the Egregore, punch it for 15 points of damage, and the Witch Coven has 3 focus left, every witch gets 5 damage. You spend 3 focus, you take no damage whatsoever.
Yeah.
So in general, if you want to kill the Coven, you need to attack the witches, not the Egregore.
It depends on the camp.
On the camp, yes.
And just a quick update. Australia Drop Bear managed to beat USA Red, and yay, Christopher Davies managed to win his first game.
Okay. So
Seriously?
he is venoming across here. We can see that's definitely I think it's a witch because he dropped a point of focus and then put a damage on it. So that's a witch in the line of sight there. The venom's coming across the Egregore as well.
He's trying
And
again.
the question is this a witch as well?
I think so. There's no reason why there would be another model this close to the
Right.
Egregore.
Agreed.
And they're in perfect conjunction.
So now
I
we're
hear
gonna see
clock
some
beeping.
charges.
Is that him?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep, and that's
He
it.
just clocked
French
himself.
He
guy
clocked
clocked.
himself going for assassination.
So that's a
So
4-0.
that's 4-0 victory for Sasha, but that was a very close game.
That was a
It looks
very
like they're
close game.
talking about the Wraith engine and about why. I think Sasha's asking him why he didn't charge with Denegra, and he's saying, I think he's saying
Wait.
that
If
he
you
didn't
shut
think
up,
he could kill it.
we can listen to
Oh
it.
yeah, you guys can.
You don't have player audio?
I do, but I can't hear.
Okay. He's speaking. Can we turn up the player audio?
Yeah, they're definitely talking about the Wraith engine.
I think Sasha is trying to sell him on that he should have killed the Wraith engine.
Okay. So let's switch over to Robin's table, maybe.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and watch the end of the final table here.
Which is also low on clock. Robin has 6 minutes left. The French player has 2 minutes left. It's Robin's turn. And as we
He just
suspected,
switched over the
the
clock.
Just
Forge
switched
God
over.
down here still don't do anything.
There's no scoring down there.
Nope.
So it's 2-2.
Is there scorings up in the upper rectangular zone?
So
Yes,
Thorn
that
got
is
up
Thorn.
here. So
Okay.
he did send it up here. It
And
charged-
what
he
about the
scores
flag? Who?
Okay, so
there's-
Wait. Robin is scoring the flag.
yeah,
I think so.
yeah, that's a trench buster of
Yes,
Robin's.
that is a trench buster. That's what that
And
is.
so he removed all the dwarves, or what?
Yeah. I mean,
just-
they're
they
very
just disappeared.
It's very easy to kill.
Yeah, he
a
just
unit of dwarves.
press the delete
And
button.
now
like, oh, yeah, just
the battle engines go in and contest.
Yeah.
okay, well, yeah. Is it at a run? Did it run?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
both run. He just
Yeah.
moved the first and then immediately picked up the second. And
He
and
only
put-
has 2 minutes, so it's not like he can't really afford to make a bunch of attacks. But my guess is we are at 2-2 and tied here. And like I said, I think the Austrian player is just simply going to clock.
Is he gonna look at the things, maybe the tiebreakers?
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's
55 seconds
55
left.
seconds. He's making some attacks. It looks like maybe one of the Forge Guard was able to charge something.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, so he cleared
Oh,
that
he's
zone.
cleared
So
that
he will
zone.
score.
Zone.
He will score that zone. I'm surprised he was able to get a line of sight to attack with the cloud wall.
Yeah, I think
around
he
the side.
just killed a model that was in the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably the
yeah. There was a
repositioning
cloud.
thing.
There was a cloud here. Robin removed it for convenience sake, and the 2 dwarfs moved in, had reach on the model, and killed the trencher.
Oh, so they both charged that, and the first guy killed the model in
So
the
Yeah.
cloud, which allowed the other guy
French
to redirect.
Guy is
So,
up and, but
yeah.
he's up on scenario, right?
He is, I think, up 3-2. is, I think, the scenario count. We can probably get a confirmation on that.
He's scoring his bottom. He's scoring his flag, so he's actually scored 2 points this
Oh
round.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. So,
So
maybe
it's
4
4 to 3.
2, or
4 to 3 because he's still scoring his flag. Robin.
Robin is
yes,
still scoring
yes,
his flag.
Yes.
So it's 4-4 with the flag.
I think actually clocking the French guy is not a viable strategy now, because it's anyway over after 7 rounds, and I think this is round 5. So Robin
Yes,
still
yes
has
it
to
is.
play for this.
He needs to at least score and contest.
He needs to score
mean, if
3
he-
points.
If he kills that battle engine and contests down here, he goes up to 7-4.
Killing the battle engine is
to,
going to take
to
himself a
6-4.
while. I'm not sure if he has enough clock to kill the battle engine.
Well, if Baby Haley seems to be still alive down here, or is yeah, that's Baby Haley.
so we can see maybe what he's pulling up. Yeah, that looks like the battle engine. So he is putting attacks into that battle engine.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can. I mean, he has to chew through 40 boxes.
Yeah, killing
So-
it in a single round is
It's not easy.
not
no.
easy. Depends on how many storm
But if
blades he has
Ragman
left.
is still alive and he can put 1 trench buster in it, and Baby Haley's boosted damage rolls in it, he might have a chance of killing it. And if he clears the round zone of the battle engine, although the second battle engine is towing that zone as well, so no, he's not clearing that.
He's out of contesting range on the flag there.
Yes.
So this might, in the end, wrap up to a scenario victory for the French guy anyway. Which is in a way it's our scenario after tiebreakers, which is a big pity, because I think had he had one more solo on the right side,
He
or
may
on
have
the
been
top
able
side
to,
from
yeah.
here, he would have been killing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's putting 1 trench buster into the battle engine, but I just heard that Ragman is dead already.
Okay.
So no +2 damage. So he's just, I mean, he's up on time, and he's just putting
The question is, are these trenchers? Are they storm?
Stormblades.
So storm
Because
blades.
that's the
Okay.
Stormblade officer.
Yeah. So this
And,
this might be enough after the damage he put on. We'll have to see.
Yeah. He still has 2 full rows of boxes left, which we can see. And now he's
Only rolling 2 dice on damage, so they're not
Yeah.
charges apparently.
I mean,
There's
it's probably
a
just.
charge.
I'm putting
Assault shots. Assault
Yeah.
shots. Yeah.
oh yeah, now we're
Yeah,
going down.
Yeah. Hit damage. Hit damage. Hit damage. Yeah. It looks like it's got about 13 boxes left.
13 boxes left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got
And
the
now-
jack. The
now
jack
Thorn
and
is going
Thorn's
in.
attacking. Yeah. Although Thorn's
more boxes.
not super likely to do a ton of damage.
2 more
Yeah,
boxes. 2 more. 3 more boxes. 4 more.
So on 7.
So it's 9 boxes left.
I think it's on 7 left. It looked like.
Well,
but
potato,
either
potato.
way, yeah, it's
he's
not
got to
dead.
put some attacks
Yeah.
in there,
yeah.
and he still wants
maybe-
to contest. He has to contest both bottom scenario elements.
He does.
Still.
And
Yes.
Baby Haley runs to contest the bottom flag.
Yep.
Okay.
He is
So that's that.
down to 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute basically. 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yeah. For
I
then
don't think
Grandma
he's gonna
Haley's
be able-
going into the center zone, and
Then contesting there. Yeah. So we'll have to see what the French player can do here with 40 seconds.
Does he need to do it? He's up on scenario, right? Oh, what is the score in a scenario?
I think it's 4-4.
yeah,
I
because he
think it's
scored
4
his
to 4.
flag and nothing more.
Yeah.
Now he has 30 seconds to. He contested down here.
So
he's
the
trying
French
to
player
kill-
needs to
Kill.
score
kill,
1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to kill the squire. That's the squire down here.
Yeah.
And okay, so now the squire is dead, and he's turning it over and scoring again.
I think he's conceding
And
on
they-
time. He doesn't think he can, and because he'll kill the battle engine that's
Yeah.
only on 7 boxes there. He doesn't. Yeah.
No.
So Robin wins this one as well.
Do we call this a win? I mean, the French player is up.
The French player's clock. He's clocked
He
himself.
clocked himself.
Yeah, he's clocked himself.
Yeah, he clocked
He
himself.
only had
so
8 seconds left. All he could do was score this one zone.
But didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he did,
does.
but then he
didn't
clocked himself.
he didn't contest
then
his
he
flag, so he makes no headway.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah.
missed
And,
that.
and Robin still had a turn left.
Right.
So he just said then he would score this flag again and flip the clock, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if. I think after this turn it's over. This was turn 7, right?
No,
No.
Robin still had another turn. I believe.
Robin has a turn. Or did Robin start?
I think I have no idea, but
I think
Yeah.
the French guy started.
Yeah. So it is a victory
Yeah.
for
Anyway,
Germany, and we will try to get the German captain.
yeah,
over.
which is Robin.
Yeah.
So we
Is
need
it?
to give him a few
Is it
minutes.
not Benjamin?
And,
Robin. Yeah, apparently Robin.
okay.
and then,
I trust the Germans. I think they know.
Okay, I'll
Would you like to? Do you know Robin? Would you like to interview, or would you prefer to?
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Frank? Do you want to stay here and
I want to talk a bit to Robin if possible.
you want to do the interview? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
the two of
go-
you could do the interview if you want. I can step
that
out.
works.
Yeah, if you would like to.
Actually, it doesn't matter. Which just
Regardless, what's going to happen is we're going to go to intermission here, but in a few minutes we'll be back with the team captain of Germany to talk about their 5-0 win over France.
Falbala.
Falbala. So stay with us.